episode of the Paper Dungeon. Here we are on episode 13, which is super exciting. We do have a few announcements to get through. Aaron's going to start with our first one.
Hi. Yes, as usual, as our new usual, our merch store is up running. We have updated shirts. It
A
includes. We also have some sweatshirts. We have
and
sweatshirts of each of our
stickers.
shirts. We have our founding shirt. We have our pocket ginger shirt. We have the sorry for what I said while I was role playing shirt. All of those in sweatshirts as well. We've got stickers. We've got a mask. We also have hats and beanies. Check it out. If you buy stickers, use the code stickers in the store to get reduced shipping.
Yeah. Anything else? I think that's it.
Oh, is
No,
that it?
that's all I got.
Perfect. Another quick announcement. Next week, we are going to be doing a Christmas one shot DM'd by the fabulous Ryan, who I get to live with. It's great. It's fantastic.
Wow.
And then the following Monday after that, the 28th, we're going to be taking that week off, and we'll be back in the new year on the 4th with our regularly scheduled programming. Hannah's mad at me, but that's what we're going to do. So,
You want to play Dungeons and Dragons, DJ?
I want to play Dungeons and Dragons. Oh my gosh, that means that this is going to be the last episode for like 3 weeks.
This is
Yes.
the last episode of the year.
Woo!
No!
Hi, guys. Welcome
Well,
to the last
I mean,
episode of
I
the
hope-
year.
I hope-
Last
That's
episode
amazing.
of the Paper Dungeon.
I hope we all die.
Oh my god.
That's
I'm gonna leave you guys on the cliffhanger.
what,
Just the biggest cliffhanger ever. It was
No.
great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Very
I think
excited.
that's everything that we have to announce then.
Sweet.
Anything else?
No,
Grant, don't
I'm
do it. I saw it. I saw the look in your eyes. Since we have nothing else, we're gonna move right past that. Well, let's go ahead and get started with the next episode of the Paper Dungeon.
Welcome to Nicomuras, a world full of sprawling cities and dark secrets. In the wake of the trial, a divine act of righteous judgment, the world has been launched into an era of rebirth. But there are those who still lust for darkness and ruin. Follow us across the continent of Talira, from the deserts of Elon Ryan to the fields of Rivaluna. Deep in the Bloomrose Ocean and high above the Alisar Mountains, our story will see our adventurers through glory, fear, and fortune as they make their way through the Paper Dungeon.
Hey, now we're back.
I thought
Hey.
I thought I did. I thought I did. I'm not gonna lie. I was convinced.
Nice. So where we left off, the last few episodes, we'll start off with Renaya getting her revenge on Melancina, the hag that had been tormenting her and her friends. She finally got that righteous revenge, branding Melancina on the wrists, and ending the little story that was developing there. After they had done that, they made their way through the portal, through the veil that they had been through multiple times before, and came upon the empty shop of Melancina 4 months after they had left. They then proceed to look about the shop and gather a few different items. Havel was cursed. It's a whole thing. At which point they decided to recover and recuperate at a local inn, specifically the 12 Platinum Inn, the 12 Platinum Cranes. They made their way through the city, discovering that it had been basically taken under new management. A man by the name of Prosius, one that Melora now recognizes from her past, has not necessarily taken over the city, but become almost idolized here in the city of Athala, proclaiming that there will be one that comes after him and talking about freeing the people from the tyranny of the gods and how the people no longer need divinity to guide them and that they can make their own path. Through happenstance and a variety of other things, they checked up on the temples to discover that each of the temples in the area of the city known as the Home of the Gods had been destroyed, left in rubble and ruin, with a large burned pile of holy texts and scrolls and relics and so on and so forth. They also discovered a variety of different things. The Sunrise Suite is no longer being used. And Renaya and Kiamorra discovered that the catacombs that Kiamorra had been using to help find and keep the lost children has been shifted over into more of a laboratory type of situation. Through a little bit of combat, they managed to escape with the configurations of a new spell that had been worked on there and made their way back to the crane. Haval had also begun trying to find a cure for his ailment, but hasn't been able to find any allies here in the city as they've all been ran out of town. Tarak managed to get permission to leave the city from an old friend of his, and him and Renaya actually left the city. We ended the session with Edward and Haval having gone to the fellow's estate to talk to Edward's butler, Charles. And just as they were leaving through some shenanigans and close calls, Haval managed to escape without causing any concern, and they both managed to make their way back into the city. And that is where we left off, and that is where we're going to pick up. So, Haval and Edward, you guys just left the fellow's estate and are beginning to make your way back through the city down to the lower rings. I believe your guys' plan was to meet outside of the city.
Yes. Yes, it was.
So we have to get past the guards.
I say we just walk through.
Just walk through.
I mean,
We can't cause a ruckus, Havel. Don't do anything that you'll regret.
I've never done such a thing before in my entire life.
I could say so many things right now, but Havel, I'm holding my tongue until we get out of this.
I see that you've
I'm
also
going to
read the
change into
dictionary
a
before.
human. I'll change into a human. I'll walk through. Don't do anything crazy.
Why do you have to disguise yourself? Aren't you you're a fellow?
Just go with it.
Okay, fine.
Yes, Edward casts disguise self, and his ears basically just turn into normal ears, I guess.
It's the only change, yeah.
There's a little
Exactly.
bit more scruff.
You go from your finer half-elven features to a little more rugged, more human-esque features, basically looking the exact same, except for lacking pointed ears. And you guys begin making your way through the rest of the city, making your way to the front gate, one of the front gates. You can either go to the eastern or western gate. Which one would you like to go to?
Which one is closer to the graveyard?
The eastern gate.
Then I would suppose the eastern gate then, right, Havel?
Sure.
Cool.
Beautiful. So you guys make your way through, back through the front of the city on the lowest ring towards the... Actually, you don't even have to make your way through the rest of the ring, because the staircase that curls down from the second level down to the first level just goes right to that eastern gate. So you guys head down the stairs, going from that second level down to the first level, and then are right there at the gate. Similar scene to what Renaya and Tarak saw. There's a variety of different people coming in and out of the city, with a good number of guards that are more just keeping an eye on the traffic that's coming through. Every once in a while, someone will get stopped and papers will be presented. You guys pull up your hoods and begin making your way out of the city, and you are not stopped as well.
Nice.
You step outside
Nailed it.
and can see yourself. The entrance to the city and this mountain is basically on top of a large hill, basically, and at the base of the hill is where a lot of that farmland begins. And you look upon a similar scene to what Renaya and Tarak looked upon, the large swaths of farmland with irrigation canals making a grid pattern in front of the mountain lays before you. And you can see just every once in a while a dotted tree here and there, and as you look to your right, you can see Renaya and a well-hooded Tarak leaning against a tree over there.
I believe we were
Nice.
playing
We
freeze
made it.
tag, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys. Yes, exactly. You guys were
Freeze
playing
dance.
Oh, freeze dance. Excuse me.
Very different games.
As we approach, Havel's just... I assume there's like a bit of space between the gate and reaching
Yeah, they're
these
about
guys.
like 50 or so yards
Yeah.
away from the gate.
Yeah, while we're kind of walking towards them, as we approach, Havel's just like,
Edward,
Look, I'm really not in the mood to have words with you right now.
I was just going to say that you have a very kind family.
Yes, my mother's quite kind.
She is a kind woman.
You can see where I get it, right, Havel? Shoots him a look.
As far as I can tell, I do believe that you, perhaps maybe present yourself more like your father. No offense.
Wait, you think I present myself like my father? Well, that's a compliment. He's hardworking. By the way, why? I cannot perceive, Havel, why you would think talking to my mother was a good idea and going into my estate when I clearly said, hey, stay outside my estate. Do you realize what could have happened? You could have been arrested, right?
Unlikely.
That would
but
be
sure.
real bad.
I mean,
That'd be
I
real
suppose.
bad. Tell me what your motive was.
Information.
Information. So instead of asking the fellows you know, you thought, might as well just put myself at risk and ask the mother of him. Like, how does that make sense?
The problem is that the fellows I know doesn't quite know what I need to know.
And that is? You think my mother would know something I wouldn't, that you would need to know.
I was hoping that perhaps you would be a little bit more acquainted with the sides that I have an inkling your father carries. But it appears she does not. Doesn't matter.
You're so confusing sometimes. I
I
have no clue what you're talking about.
think that your dad has been doing things on the side that might be a bit interesting. But
Like maybe golfing.
perhaps
Or something of that esteem. Look, my father is not some kind of crazy, like, side vigilante, criminal, whatever you want to say. He's not like that.
But he's
he
a
just-
golfer.
He really cares about his business, and he really cares about the state of the city. And if things get in the way of that, he doesn't like it.
But he is a golfer.
I don't know. Maybe. I was just saying that because it fit, right?
Even more interesting yet. Hey, look, there's Tarak and Renaya.
You guys wouldn't believe what I just went through with Havel.
It was a fun time.
I think we would.
You probably would.
Renaya is picking up on my actions.
You remember when I said that Renaya might be a better candidate?
For what?
You know for what. For what, Edward? You know. You know.
You're Edward.
I was talking in your perspective. Stop twisting my words, Havel. Renaya, next time you're going with me.
Okay.
If there is a next time.
I am not
Do you
sorry.
want to join our freeze dance game?
I'm not in the mood, and he stomps off and sits behind the tree.
Havel just kind of goes, what's freeze dance?
He's really good at it.
Yeah.
I haven't won yet. I don't understand.
Do you know the rules?
What?
I'll hum a song, and then when it stops, you have to freeze, and if you don't freeze, then you lose.
Wouldn't you have the advantage?
No.
Seems fair enough to me. All right. Sure.
As you guys begin playing your game, Edward, you go back around the side of the tree in a little huff and begin just taking off your bags and your jacket and just setting your stuff down, getting ready to sit there for a while, when you feel a slip of paper in your pocket that wasn't there before.
What's this?
You
Okay.
pull it out, and there's a small slip of paper that simply says, "Can't talk, meet later, Sunset, Charles."
Oh. Oh. What could this mean? Can't talk. Not. Wait, what did it say?
Said, "Can't talk, not safe," or "Can't talk, meet later, Sunset, at Paper Cranes." Sorry, key thing that I forgot there. At Paper Cranes, Charles.
Well, that's quite peculiar. Why wouldn't he just talk to me where we were? Sunset. Oh, that means I have to get back in the city. What time is it?
It's probably about 4 o'clock by now.
So sunset.
Ooh, shoot,
No.
it's getting close.
Well,
Not
actually,
quite.
You're coming out
I
of the winter
forgot. We're
season.
not. Yeah, we're
Sunset
not
is
in
probably
winter anymore.
Sunset's probably in about 2 to 3 hours.
Hmm.
I just realized. Does that mean that daylight savings exists in our world?
I'm gonna skip that question at the moment.
Hey, okay, I'm going to. Hey, ooh. Remember way back, Mr.
Way back.
DM,
Yes, I do.
when I received
I
a
remember
letter.
everything. From?
I don't know. And it was in my room and it was sealed and I couldn't open it.
Okay. I
He
remember that
finally
letter.
remembers, Mr. DM.
Okay. let's hear it.
Something.
Fine.
I don't write things down. I did it, guys. And so I want to pull that out.
Okay.
Is there any writing on the outside of the letter? I don't remember. I don't think there was.
There was Edward on the front of it.
I'm gonna compare the handwriting of the
They are-
little note in the letter.
They are different handwriting.
Okay. That's not him. Very intriguing. Why wouldn't he talk to me right there? I was. The paper cranes, eh? What are you up to, Charles? Okay. And I'm just gonna put my stuff back, put my letter back. Zzz. That was zipping it up, although
Okay.
I imagine they don't have zippers, so. Yeah, that was me clasping. But somehow it made the zipper sound. It was great.
Exactly.
Zzz, zzz. And then I suppose Edward's just gonna, for now, he's going to wait probably about an hour and a half, an hour or so, probably give himself about an hour to get where he needs to be.
Okay.
Which I'd imagine that'd be enough time to get to the second ring from where I was, or
Yeah.
would I need more time?
Yeah, no, that'd probably be just about enough time.
Perfect. For now, Edward's just gonna sit there playing a little bit here and there on his lute,
Mhm.
thinking, maybe writing in his journal every now and then,
Okay, very nice.
and he'll wait.
Okay. Is there anything else that the rest of you guys want to do in this hour and a half or so of time? Aside from playing freeze dance.
Do I win?
Cool. Everyone make a intelligence saving throw.
Oh, I would
Saving
say
throw.
I would say a performance check.
No.
It
intelligence
doesn't matter.
Are they
'Cause,
smart enough to stop when the music does?
Hannah's dice coming in
saving.
with a weird one at a nat 20.
Oh!
Heyo!
Which is a
Well,
total of 12.
Total of what? You said intelligence or performance?
Intelligence.
25.
And Renata? What was that?
What?
30-20.
30, 20?
Oh, let's go.
So, you guys are playing, and you play for a little bit, and Havel's beginning to get good. He's getting to the point that he knows when you're going to stop before you even know that you're going to stop. And it's just, it's almost, it's concerning. It's weird for a second. He, like, just barely stops moving just as you're about to stop, and you're like... But he wins.
How?
This is a fun game.
Okay, you two had to have worked something out before this.
I don't know.
There's no way.
It was like you read my mind.
Maybe I am.
Part of the curse.
That is definitely cheating.
Well, I'm just that good. Anyways, I wonder what's going on with the rest of the people.
Yeah, I mean, Cap
Transition.
is probably dead.
Actually,
I don't
no,
know.
we're not transitioning.
Dang it.
So,
Oh.
Edward, your hour and a half goes by before it begins to get to the point where you think that you're going to have about enough time to get back to the paper cranes in time just before sunset. What do you do?
Okay, I'm about to have some words with Charles. So inconvenient. Edward gets up, puts
Okay.
his lute on his back, and says,
Oh,
"Oh gosh!" And he looks at them and says, he peeks around the tree, and he's like, hey guys,
Yeah.
I'm a little worked up. It's been quite the day. I'm just gonna go for a short little walk.
okay.
if you don't mind.
Don't take candy from strangers.
Now, is that something I would do, Havel?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Wait, when will you be back?
I don't know. An hour or two? Something like that.
Curfew's at 8.
Curfew's at 8. Yeah, I won't be in the city. I just want to enjoy the nature. It usually calms me down.
Like, what time is it right now? Like around like 5:45?
It's about 5:30 or so.
5:30.
Yeah, so you
well,
got, you got a
remember,
little bit of time.
we're supposed to wait for people until 6:30, so try to be, around that time.
Sure thing. Don't you worry. I'll make sure I'm back promptly.
All right, have a good walk.
Goodbye, everybody. Havel, you're not off the hook. And he starts walking away.
I never expected to be.
Did he put you on a hook?
Momentarily. It was
Yes.
quite strange.
That doesn't sound healthy.
Well,
Like
I-
a little worm.
yeah, or
Okay, do you need that looked at?
or meat. No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Just like a pig ready for slaughter.
Pretty much.
Whoa.
God?
All right, God.
Why does the DM's mind work like that? That's concerning.
This is why I'm the DM and you guys are the players. So, Edward, you make your way back into the city. The traffic has begun to dwindle, and it's not quite as many people going in and out. You're one of about 3 or 4 people that are coming in. And you're allowed to just walk into the city. Curfew hasn't begun. And you can see, if you go to what would be your left or west, you could go over to the western staircase that leads up basically almost directly in front of the 12 platinum cranes, or you can go up the eastern staircase and then cut across the stalls in the second floor to get to the 12 platinum cranes. How would you like to get there?
I would like the first option, because that's faster.
Yes. You begin making your way through. You look behind you and can see Melancina's shop just in the little distance. And you begin making your way the opposite direction through the variety of shops and inns and taverns and little buildings and plazas and everything that kind of is almost put on display here in the front of the first ring for visitors to see, basically as they make their way up to the second ring. You know that once you get past those staircases and so on and so forth, it's really when you get into really what the city is actually like. And so you begin making your way through this little bit nicer area of town before heading up the staircase, the western staircase that leads up to the second ring. You get up the stairs and come out just past a few of the shops that you know of, just on the western side of the large area of town known as the stalls, where a bunch of people hang out and sell their own little goods. And you begin making your way towards the 12 platinum cranes, the large building with the not Roman pillars but posts outside, and the 12 little cranes on the top of the first story roof. It's 2 stories tall with that first roof that kind of wraps around it, and then the secondary roof. And there's 12 little cranes, decorative cranes, almost like gargoyles, but they're cranes on the lower roof. And you enter. You can see Antoine, the bartender, is serving a few different people. There's a variety of people here in the bar. It's probably the busiest that you've seen it. Probably about 12 to 15 patrons strewn about, a couple of them together, a few of them by themselves. There's this general hustle and bustle of the building as Jericho, and for the first time what you can see is a couple other people working here at the 12 Platinum Cranes. And in the corner, hooded in one of the booths, you recognize the attire of your longtime butler and friend Charles.
Okay. Edward walks up to Antoine real quick.
Mhm.
He looks over, sees Charles, and walks up to Antoine. Antoine,
Hello, how can I help you? Oh,
hi there. Nice to see you again.
Phillips, right?
Yes, just call me Edward while I'm here.
Edward, got it.
That gentleman in the corner, I point him out, the hooded man. I'm meeting with him.
All right.
Has he had anything to drink yet?
No, he's been by himself as far as I'm aware.
Could you bring me two glasses of your finest wine?
I can do that. Yes, that will be 1 gold piece.
No problem. And he sets a gold piece down on the counter. And if you could be prompt with it, that would be wonderful.
I will be right away.
Thank you very much.
you can see Jericho gets to work. He goes into the back room, pulls out a bottle, uncorks it, and begins letting it aerate before eventually he does pour it, and then begins bringing it over to you guys.
And I'm still standing at the counter at this point.
Okay. Yeah, so he stands there. He lets it aerate for a good little while before eventually pouring it and handing you the 2 glasses.
Perfect.
Here you are.
Thank you very much.
Of course. Anything else I can get for you?
Not for now. I'll come back here if we need anything. If you could
Sounds
let
good.
us be for a minute, that'd be great.
Yes, 100%.
Hedward kind of scuttles over, kind of silently walks up to the table,
Okay.
says, "Charles,
And
why did you summon me here? Here, have this. Have this.
thank you.
I got that so we're not bothered. Why didn't you just talk to me while I was at the house? What's this about? This is really inconvenient for me. I have a schedule."
I'm sure you do, Edward. Are you safe? At least,
What do you mean?
aside from being here. Have you gotten out of town? Or at least do you have plans to get out of town?
Yes, I'm with that group of people that I talked
Okay.
about.
Good, I'm glad. So, I couldn't talk to you because there are people in your father's house that would rat me out, I suppose. But
What do you mean?
You should be aware of why I'm there. You asked me why I didn't leave, and I lied to you.
Oh?
I'm a part of an organization that keeps an eye on different powerful beings who could be causing problems for the material plane.
Wait. You're saying that you're part of some organization that... So,
Yes. And I will ask you this before now. If I tell you about it, you're going to put yourself in a lot more danger.
hold on.
And
Wait.
this could be beneficial for your education and for where you're going, and they could provide resources, but it also, like I said, puts you in a lot more dangerous situations. And I can't answer all of your questions now. I can just tell you the basics of it.
Charles, I don't understand. So you're saying this whole time you've been part of something behind my father's back? Behind my back?
Yes.
Is this... And it's dangerous.
It can be. My particular instance is more low-key, I guess you could say.
Charles... Or not Charles. I do that all the time. Edward leans in
Mhm.
and squints at Charles and says... And whispers, "You're not a criminal, are you?"
No, I'm not a criminal. No, being a criminal would be easier.
A vigilante?
No, I'm not a vigilante. I guess you could say I'm more of a spy.
A spy now. For another country? For...
There-
I'm not
it's
following.
Do you want to know more about this or not?
Well, of course I would. What else do I have to lose?
I'm a part of an order known as the Order of the Chosen. They are an order of knights, warriors, and scholars who were appointed by Lanantari herself, the Mother Goddess, to help protect the material plane and its resources.
So this is religious then, like a church?
To
Or
a certain
something.
extent, yes, it
A
is
temple
religious.
order?
Yes, it's a world organization that is based in a variety of different places. I am a part of a subsect of this order that follows the family reign. To give you a brief description, when the Age of Pandemonium took place, most humanoids and mortals began to stray from the laws and paths that Lanantari set for us, and that is where a lot of the Pandemonium came from. There were 3 families that did not: the family Thane, the family Artemis, and the family Rain.
So what you're saying is those few families were the ones that weren't straying from what the gods were telling them to do?
From what the god? At that point, the gods hadn't been appointed.
Only one.
There was only one, the Mother Goddess, Lanantari, the one who created everything.
I'm not versed in this.
It's not common. It's you have to be fairly well religious to know this far back, or well educated in religious histories. Anyway, these 3 families, after the trial, were then granted domain, I guess, over the material plane and the rights to help protect it. They work with the gods and they work with other organizations and governments and people to help maintain peace on the material plane. My specific subsect, the family reign, our dominion is over the weave, magic. It is over understanding and protecting the weave and expanding upon our knowledge of it. Your father,
Okay, wait. So, are you saying you're a part of one of these so-called families that keep the peace?
I'm not.
And you do magic?
Yes, no, yes, kind of. So, I can do little magic, very, very small. But
What? Why didn't you show me?
because
I've been
it was
trying to
little-
learn. That would have been.
And you already know more than I do. It's not a big deal. But your father, and his dealings with Audronite and how it pertains to magic and the weave and enchantment and all that, it caused suspicion. So I was assigned to your father's family. I was sent in to go undercover and become a trusted ally of his to learn his secrets. That is why I know so much about him and so much about his business.
You've been going behind my father's back and telling others about his business?
Yes and no. I mean, yes, I have, but more like the things that could cause a lot of people to get hurt and a lot of people to die. And I already failed letting Prosius come in and your father to work with him and allow all of this. That I should have stopped him, but I didn't. And that's on me. But here, I want to give you this. And he pulls a small coin out of his pocket, and he slides it across. And on it, you can see the head of a dragon, almost kind of similar to the symbol of Athala, but instead of a hydra, it's a single dragon curling back. And around the rim, you can see a line of text in a language that you don't understand, trimming the edge of this coin with that dragon kind of pressed, the background pressed down so that the dragon pops up out of the coin and hands it over to you.
I've never seen this symbol before.
That's good. That means that we're doing our job right. This is our symbol. Go to the Scholar's Guide. It's a library. Go to the Scholar's Guide and they'll be able to help you a little bit more. If you can show this to them, they will be able to help you out. And if you want to know more, what?
I don't know if I have time for this.
When you have time, they'll be able to help you. They'll be able to teach you, educate you.
Charles, I don't know what to do.
You want to help people, right?
Yes.
This is a good start. Get out of the city, do what you need to do, then go to that library.
So I don't have to do this right away.
No, you don't have to do it.
So I might have to think about this. Joining some strange temple-like organization that
nothing
went behind my father's back, that's a lot to ask.
Yeah, it is. You're right. But it's what I can do for you. Or it's at least the start for what I can do to you. For you.
You said this was worldwide.
Yes.
How have I not heard of this?
It is a very small organization. At the moment, I think that there are no more than 300 or 400 members.
Does
in
my
the whole
father
world.
know of this?
He's aware of its existence. They don't get along.
Why not?
Because your father likes to do things that could potentially cause harm to the material plane, and we don't like that.
Like what? Well, it's probably Aldronite, right? It's a bit
Yes.
sketchy
It can be, and
if it's in the wrong
the
hands.
people that he sells to, more often than not, are ones that, with enough Audronite and the quantities that he can sell them at, could have great harm.
He mostly sells to, DM. Does he mostly sell to like militant reasons or like stuff like
sells to a
that? What does
variety of
Edward
people.
think?
The most noble of his sales mostly goes towards colleges. Like wizarding schools, stuff like that around the world, along with high-end enchanters, different businesses, and well-established organizations that create and maintain magic items. The main
Epic.
purpose of Audronite. That's probably what he would have told you a lot about. You also do know that your father wasn't really afraid to sell to basically anyone. That's just more who, when he would go to functions or any public events, those were the highlights that he would talk about a lot, is
Gotcha.
these different schools and well-off organizations that he would help provide the materials that they needed.
Okay, Edward says once again, kind of leaned in a hushed voice, Charles, you know as much as I do that my father does a lot for the world, for this society.
He does.
He gives to, well, or makes things for ourselves to educational purposes and, you know, things that will better society, make more things possible.
He does.
How
He also sells to black market organizations.
black
Underdark.
market, my father.
Yes. Have you learned nothing in the last 2 days of what I've told you?
I thought he hated the black market. Said that it made things messy.
It makes things messy, but it makes him rich. Edward, do what you wish with this information. But this is what I can do for you. I must get back now. Your
Hold
father
on.
will wonder where I am. What?
You said this group, whatever
The
it
Order
may
of the
be,
Chosen.
the Chosen, you said that they could help me.
They can help you. There are no
How?
There are no mages more adept in the weave than those that serve the family reign. There are no soldiers who will be stronger at protecting you than those in the family Artemis, and there are no historians that know the world and the history of the material plane better than those of the family Thane. By being granted access to this organization, which they might not allow, I can simply just open the door for you. They have to let you through it. But by having access to this organization and these people, you will have the world at your fingertips.
Okay. I'm not saying okay to joining, but I'm saying okay to thinking about it.
Go to the library. Let them talk to you. The library is down in Elon Ryan. It will be quite the journey to get there, but it will be worth it.
Will I see you there?
No.
Hmm.
If you see me again, it will be in the service of your father or on a pike.
On a pike.
Just depends on if your father finds out. Like I said, he has ears everywhere.
I don't know what to think anymore. Edward stands and kind of stands next to the table. And then he turns to Charles, standing above him, says, I think I believe you, though. And,
That's good.
well, that's the scariest part.
I know it's hard, Edward. And I wish that it wasn't true. I really do.
Edward sighs, takes his glass of wine and just kind of chugs it, then sets it down, and then he
Charles
says,
lifts up his other glass.
oh, it's done. I finished it all.
Did not
But
know
I'll
that.
make a cheers, I guess. Cheers to the world crashing down around us.
Edward, I was offering you my glass.
Oh, sure. He grabs that too, I suppose. Takes it, but he doesn't drink it all, just takes a sip and sets it down. And he says, I have one more question. Takes off his bag. Glunk. On the little whatever it is, chair or whatever.
Bench.
And he takes out the letter. And he looks at Charles and holds it out for him to see. And he says, this was left on my bed the day I left. I assumed maybe it was from a teacher, like a tutor, or maybe, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. You don't know anything about this, do you? I also want to ask DM. As I ask that, I want to see if the symbol is the same as the coin, or if it's different.
The symbol
The
is not
symbol on
same
the
as
wax
coin.
seal, I mean.
The symbol on the wax seal is the seal of your family's business.
Okay, good.
Of the Fellows and Co. Right?
'Kay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fellows and Co. Charles takes the letter. This looks like your father's handwriting.
My father's handwriting.
Yes.
I can't open it. It's magically sealed. My father doesn't know magic,
Charles
does he?
opens it.
How did you do that? I've been trying. I tried so many times. I couldn't
Have
figure
you?
it out. I couldn't figure out even like
I just
how
I
he.
just opened it. Sorry.
It's fine, I guess.
Well,
I just
here. Let me look. I know very little, but he like begins looking at the arcane symbols that were on that surrounded the seal. Let's see if he can do this. Okay. This looks like a basic spell that simply prevents you from opening this letter for 2 weeks.
Oh. I should have tried later. Oh my. Well, okay. It's from my father? I don't know how to feel. Should we read it together now? Should I wait? I'm afraid of what it might say, Charles.
Would you like me to read it?
Yeah,
Why don't I read it first?
You
and
read
then
it
I'll tell you if
first.
you want.
please.
Yeah.
What if it's
Hold
like,
out.
what if it's him telling me how much he loved me? This was given to me on the day I left. I couldn't
He-
handle that, Charles.
He
I'm an
opened the
emotional
letter.
man. I feel things deeply, Charles.
He begins reading stoically. Takes the first page. Takes the second page. Puts them back. Folds the letter back up.
Well, what did they say?
Puts it back in the seal.
Hmm?
I don't know if you want to read this.
And why is that? It's not some spy reason, right?
No. This is a letter from your father condemning you for your actions.
For what actions?
For leaving, betraying him, betraying the family business, leaving your mother, being a failure in your schoolings, being a failure to your family, never living up to your potential, and a variety of other things.
How does he not see that I work so hard? It makes me angry.
Do you want the letter?
I don't know. I guess I'll keep it.
He just sets it down on the table and slides it slowly over to you.
You're not lying to me, are you?
You're welcome to read it for yourself.
I don't know if that'd help anything.
Edward, I am truly sorry.
I knew he wasn't. I knew he wasn't proud of me. I know he didn't like me. He didn't like the effort I put in. He'd never noticed. My mother was the only one that really ever noticed anything. I know you saw that. It's so frustrating.
Would a hug make you feel better?
Charles, I don't know if I'm in the mood for one. But maybe.
Charles stands up and pulls you into a very tight hug.
Edward's just angry, really. Furrowed brows.
Mm-hmm.
And while he's in Charles' embrace, he says into his chest, kinda, I just don't get it.
I know that your father is not much of a father, but he then pulls you back and grabs each side of your head. But I hope that you know that I love you and that I am very proud of you.
That means so much. Charles, part of the reason why I left is because I thought that maybe I could make my father proud with the progress I make apart from the business. Maybe I could grow the business even further with those in other, well, social classes and economic bases and whatnot. And so I guess I'm trying to ask, do you think that this organization might help me along? Make him proud someday with what I've done?
Edward, you should live a life that you can be proud of, not one that your father would be. Let your life be your own. You are free of him now. Do not let him dictate your choices.
Well, I guess he kind of doesn't want to, does he? Maybe he's happy that I'm gone. can't screw things up anymore over there.
I'm so sorry, bud.
It's fine. I've had a long time to be upset at him. It's not new.
It is true.
I'll think about this thing. He holds up the coin. I don't know what it is, but it might be my only shot.
Good. I should get back. Your father will be missing me soon, I'm sure.
I don't want you to go. I hope I do see you again soon.
He pulls you into another hug and squeezes tightly. I'm sure we will see each other again.
That would be nice.
Yes,
Shoot,
it will.
maybe I'll be able to tell you this story. I've been through so much. You have no clue.
I look forward to hearing it all. And he kind of pats the side of your face before turning and quickly making his way out the door, leaving you in the what you can now hear again, the hustle and bustle of the tavern. You can see Antoine cleaning, variety of different girls and guys just sitting about, variety of different races, people helping out, different waiters and waitresses helping, and you were left alone in the 12 Platinum Cranes.
Edward sits, opens his journal, writes a bit, sits, thinks a bit, takes Charles' glass of wine, finishes it, and then heads out of the city.
Right.
And does he pass ever Igor's shop?
You can take a route to pass Igor's shop. It's not the same route that you.
Okay, I'd like to do that.
Okay. Yeah, you go back to the.
I'm assuming it'd be closed.
You head east to the second ring towards that secondary staircase, and around there you can find Igor's shop. Yes.
Okay. I'm assuming Igor isn't outside. It's probably past sundown.
It's getting it's past sundown. It's getting to the point that it's dark. There are several oil lanterns hung throughout the city to illuminate the streets a little bit, and you can see that the forge is cold and there's no lights on in Igor's house.
Okay. Edward kind of walks up, and is there like a area behind the counter or anything, or like something like that?
The workshop itself is empty. You can see that there isn't a counter or anything like that. There is one little like workbench that
Okay.
has a chair behind it.
I'd kind of like to, if there's a place where it would be hidden,
Mhm.
I'd kind of like to take. Well, first I'll take off the jacket and just
Mhm.
lay it down on the table or workbench.
Okay.
And then Edward will take his quill and ink
Mhm.
and a piece of his notebook,
Mhm.
and he'll rip it out and write, "This jacket served me well. Thank you.
Mhm.
I kind of tattered it a bit. Buy yourself a new one." And then a dash, and then Edward. And then
Oh.
it says, "P.S. If I ever run into you again, let's chat. Period."
Right.
And Edward kind of tucks that in the pocket poking out, and
Mhm.
then kind of drops, or not drops, like kind of folds in half, and then lays the blanket down, not the blanket, the jacket down behind the workbench out of sight.
Okay. Yeah, you tuck it onto. There's a lower shelf on it, so you tuck it in there. So anyone that's looking upon the workshop from the outside wouldn't be able to see it. They'd have to go inside the workshop and around to the desk to be able to see it.
Perfect. That was the goal. And then Edward heads out of the city, hopefully,
Okay. Yeah.
without any trouble.
You begin making your way down the eastern staircase, just as you and Havel did the first time, and now you're basically at the point where there are no people coming in and out. You can see there are dimly lit oil lanterns that illuminate the gates just around it, and you can see that there are 4 guards, two in these little kind of buildings built into the wall that you know to be part of the barracks, and then 2 more outside just standing guard. And you begin to make your way through the gate, and nobody stops you.
Nice.
You leave the gate, and you can find Renaya, Havel, and Tarak all at the same tree that they were.
Okay, Edward's walking up, says, I'm back.
Had a good walk.
It was thought-provoking. Edward kind of walks past everybody and sits down at the tree again.
Okay.
Just sits there.
Sit down and reflect on your thoughts. We're going to jump over to Kathyr, Melora, and Kiamorra. So, if you guys remember way back when, you guys basically left in the morning to head to Calivon, what you know to be a graveyard on the upper ring, on the actual eastern cave side, not on the cave side, but on the hillside above the cave, deep into the mountain. You guys, the three of you, Kiamorra kind of leading the way as he's kind of in a hurry, begin making your way back through the city, leaving the 12 platinum cranes, making your way down the western staircase and out the western gates before heading across the hillside in front of the walls, making your way over towards the what you know to be the eastern ridge. As you begin making your way through, you find bushes and gravel and a lot of rocks and just a very, very rocky hillside, a very mountainous terrain. And Kiamorra kind of looks at you guys and goes, do you think this is where we need to go?
Does this path, because Edward described it to us, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he said that it was a graveyard on the eastern rim of the cave, basically off this really not well beaten, very unknown kind of hidden path that leads up and around past the guard tower that sits right there at the base of the cave, and up and around.
And does it seem to follow that?
Right, does it?
Go ahead and make some investigation checks, as you guys actually don't see a trail in front of you. You just see the mountainous hillside. Okay. Melora, what you get?
14 for investigation, but if there were survival, then it would be a little better.
Okay, what'd you get, Drew?
A 5.
You got a 5. So Kiamorra got a 16, and so he kind of begins looking around before finding almost like this small game trail that leads through, just like things that bunnies and squirrels and other small game kind of take up and through up this steep hillside. He begins leading the way. Every once in a while, you'll have a foot slip and gravel will shower down on you guys. You begin finding that grabbing the roots of little bushes and shrubs makes it a lot easier to make your way up, and you guys begin making your way up this cave side. And this cave is massive and vast, and you guys don't really know where this graveyard is. So you begin making your way up and up and up, and after an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of making your way up this hike, traversing what seems like forever, I'll have you guys make another investigation check.
17 for me.
Okay.
I was frozen, so I did not actually hear what you needed.
Oh, investigation check again.
Okay. Much better. That is a 22.
Perfect. You guys got better than Kiamorra. You both, all three of you, begin to really kind of find your stride after this long stretch, and eventually you pull up and make your way upon a flat section. Not very large, but this probably about football field clearing, about 100 yards or so. Opening in the bushes and bramble with a little stone fence around it, stone pillared fence, just encrusting it. Only about hip height, easy enough to get over, with one little gate. You can see that there are a variety of little trees and shrubs. The trees look that of a dark dark branch, dark barked, a very dark looking bark covered tree that makes its way up with a variety of branches that begin to weave and entwine with each other, and little fruits hanging off the branches, similar to the fruits of I think Melora in the jar
Aye.
that you took from Melancina's hut. Kiamorra begins leading you guys into this, what you assume is the graveyard. Across one of the stone pillars, where there's a gap for the entrance, you can see crudely carved into this stone pillar, Kalevorn, and then Home for the Wicked. You make your way in, and there's probably a total of 4, maybe 5 gravestones in this graveyard. But skeletons upon skeletons upon skeletons. This mass burial site where it almost seems like bodies are just thrown with no respect for who they were or what they did, just tossed down and about. Some of them in varying different states of decay, some of them truly bleached from the sun, others emitting this putrid smell that fills all of your nostrils, easily overwhelming the smell of cinnamon that is coming off of Melora. It is putrid smelling here. But there are small patches of clearings. It seems like every once in a while they'll come up with loads of dirt and just kind of stack on and bury different parts of the graveyard to help keep it together. But it is by no means a respectful place. You guys begin making your way in towards the graveyard, looking about, just trying to find a place that you guys could find something somewhat peaceful, some place of rest here in what should have been a final resting place. And eventually, in front of the trees, one of the far back trees, there is a little clearing in front of it. It looks like a quote-unquote recently redirted, replowed, I guess you could say, area of the ground where there's some soft grass still available. And Kiamorra goes and kneels in front of the tree. He turns to you guys and says, typically this would be done in front of a mentor or a trusted advisor, but I'm very happy that I was here with you. I do not know what happened to my father. He would have been the one to be here for me taking this oath. But he's gone, and I don't know what happened to him, and thus I have failed one of my quests, and I can't take this back home. For me and my people, this is a binding oath, I guess. I'm basically committing myself to this on the condition that if I fail or if I can't continue with this, that I should die. You guys are my witnesses. Your responsibilities consist of basically being available for me to call upon you if my oath is ever to come in question, and if I ever need to prove myself, I can call upon you two to be witnesses for me and say that I have taken this oath and that I've bound my life to it. There's also some contingencies. Some sects prefer that you also, whoever is your witness, is also someone that is willing to kill you in the stance that you break your oath. My family has never been overly serious about that, but just it's something else to be aware of. It wouldn't be uncommon of my elders, or unheard of for my elders to ask you guys to take care of me if I were to ever break my oath in any way. So, do you guys still want to do this?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Kiamorra turns around, so you're both on either side of him on his backside. And he takes off his jacket and he takes off his shirt, revealing his tattoos. And he pulls out his spear, bending it so there's the middle rod is in front of him with his two spear-like ends going back towards him, and takes his shield and stabs it in the ground so that the symbol is, or not the symbol, but the front of the shield is facing Kiamorra. And he says, "Here I stand, a slave to honor, vowing my life to the light. May I stand as a beacon to those in despair, guiding them from the darkness. Let my mercy, my kindness, my forgiveness kindle the light in others. May my spear seek out those who choose to dwell in darkness, and may my shield protect the weak from them. I will guide those who stumble on the path back to the light. Let those that dwell in darkness fear my presence, for light can be both beautiful and blinding. And should the light within my heart ever dim, I will let my judgment come, never one to let the light fade." And he bows deep, his face in the dirt, with his hands spread out, and he begins crushing these things in his hands, things that you didn't notice before, but just these seeds that emit kind of this little powder into the air that floats up for a second before shooting back into his forearms, into the line work on his tattoos, and in varying spots, seemingly random, they go up his forearm and his arms and his chest and float there for a second before binding into him and glowing faintly, before he opens his hand and the little remnants of the dust disappears, and he lifts his head, bows again, before standing and turning. And you can see that his eyes have now changed colors. They've gone from this kind of pale green to a vibrant blue color. This very, very piercing set of blue eyes now stares back at you. Seems kind of it's a lot for such a little thing, I guess. But thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Happy for you.
He
Kinda-
goes over to you, Melora, and sticks out his hand.
I
And
take it.
just as he has done with you as he's done with both of you before, he pulls you in and rests his forehead against yours before going over to you, Kathyr, and doing the same.
Mm-hmm.
He then picks up his shirt, puts it back on, puts on his jacket, grabs his spear, puts it on the hook, throws his shield around the backside, says, "Well, it's time for the down hike, I guess," and begins to make his way towards the front of the graveyard, meandering through different bodies and kind of this little trail that there is to escape the pungent smell.
Mhm.
You guys begin to follow him when Kathyr, as you're beginning to turn, you turn out of the corner of your eye, you see a familiar cloak in the wind. So used to having to chase to find these people, you immediately turn and look to see where it was, and instead of seeing nothing like you're used to, having to again almost be searching with the corner of your eyes, you can see the gravedigger standing there, the shovel in front of him, just leaning on it. You look over, and next to him is the widow, standing there, her head bowed, And standing next to her, dressed all in black, leather bindings and strappings, knives all over, you see a thief standing there. Each of them, the three of them, next to this dark-clad tree with a variety of different fruits hanging from it. Not saying anything, just looking at you. Before eventually the widow sticks out her hand and just, not necessarily pointing, but guiding you towards the base of the tree.
I approach.
As you do, Melora, you turn, seeing that Kathyr's right there with you, and you can see Kathyr kneeling now in front of this tree with three figures standing around him. You can see a almost cowboy-esque figure with a long, scraggly beard and a big old hat, his vest and jacket kind of hanging in the wind. You can see a widowed woman with bright red hair, kind of faded, and wrinkles all over, her hood up, her cloak billowing in the wind, and a leather-clad, shady figure, a thief, standing all around him now. The widow standing in the middle in front of the tree that Kathyr is now kneeled in front of, and both the figures on either side. Kiamorra then turns and sees the same. And he approaches you, Melora. Do you think this is them?
You're muted.
Muted.
Hello.
Aye.
I do.
You're here. I have so many questions. But I suspect I don't quite get the answers yet, do I? Am I at least on the right path?
Smiles wide.
I take out my book
Mhm.
out of my bag and just kind of place it in front of myself before taking out my sword, taking my holy symbol, and wrapping it around the pommel for a moment before placing it in the dirt in front of me. I didn't think I'd get to do this yet. I've been on such a crazy journey, not one that I've really expected. And I suspect there's much more that I have to face. You guys have helped me through a lot, more than anyone could ever know. And I can't begin to express gratitude. But I thank you. I placing a hand on the book. I was once a deaf soldier, following my desires, with no care for the destruction I brought in my wake. I was like the king, wicked and cruel, not really caring who I stepped on to reach a higher status. But I want to dedicate myself to something else. You guys gave me a second chance. And so I'll be like this wise old woman, seeking to live a life of purpose and fulfillment. And to live and to greet death with open arms when it comes, because I know I've lived a better life. and to know that the rain won't fall as hard as on this once wicked heart. I promise to dedicate myself to this purpose of being fate's hand, of being a Grey Knight and a paladin of destiny. And close my eyes for a moment, briefly look back at Kiamorra and pause a little longer in Melora before turning forward again. I bind myself to this oath, to seek and to understand fate's will and guidance. I understand that death has a purpose, and death is what gives meaning to life and gives its beauty. Death does not, and I'll actually turn my head at this moment and look at the thief momentarily. Mm-hmm. Death does not abide by the laws of the material, but pursues the end. I'll look towards the gravedigger. By fate's hand, I provide and will provide both protection and pain. Protection for those who have a life that must continue. And I look to the widow. And pain for the wicked who abuse the life and power that they have. I look back down at the ground, at my holy symbol. Death is an end to the pain, and the final judge to those who wield it. Looking back up. If you will have me, by divine appointment and everlasting humility, I am the final judge. I'll look back down and kind of just sit there for a moment.
The thief steps forward and kneels in front of you before lifting your chin, nodding at you, and then running his thumb down your blade, causing a little brief glow along his finger as he drags his thumb down before he stands and takes a step back. The gravedigger comes up and he takes his cloak off of him and puts it over your shoulders, clasping it around your neck. And he takes a step back before the widow comes down, kneels in front of you, holds each side of your face, kisses your forehead before reaching into her cloak and pulling out a silver mask. Very, very delicate almost in nature, looking that of almost like a porcelain mask that would cover your whole face, but this one clad in silver. And she hands it to you. You look over it, and almost invisible, only to those who are close enough to see it, you can see faintly carved into the mask is the depiction of your holy symbol. Half an elven face and half a skull, with the succulents that frame the skull along the side, just finely detailed, carved into the face of the mask. You go and you put it on, and it fits perfectly, like it was designed for you, adhering to your face so as to not need a strap or anything to keep it there, but just framing you so well that you know that you wouldn't even have to worry about it. Even in combat, you wouldn't have to worry about it falling off, You take the mask off, and you see the three of them standing in front of you once again. And they each take a knee in front of you and bow low before standing. And one by one, they go back behind the tree and disappear. First the thief, then the gravedigger. The widow lingers for just a moment. She steps forward and just gently caresses your face, a single tear rolling down her cheek, before she too turns and disappears behind the tree. And that is where we're going to end. Not the end of the section, but take our break. So, if you guys want to keep up with all the chaos and beautiful moments, hopefully, go ahead and come back. We'll be back in 10 or 15 minutes, and we'll get right back to Kathyr and Melora and Kiamorra making their way out of the city. Sweet. We'll be back in a little bit, guys.
When we'll all die.
All right. So, we're back from our early break. We had left off with Kathyr bowing in front of this tree, having his gods disappeared behind it after bestowing different blessings to him. So we're just going to pick up right there. You think he's going to get up anytime soon?
But I think we should give him some time.
What if I find a rock and throw it at him? I could take what are these called? The phalanges? Whatever. I could take a little piece off the tip and just...
I mean, I think if he needs some time, then I think we should give it to him.
That's probably fair.
We could do something to pass the time, though, if you want to throw rocks at each other.
At that point, I stand up. I'll unwrap my holy symbol from my pommel, put it back around my neck, hidden underneath my armor.
Mm-hmm.
I will put the mask in just in a pocket of my satchel. And sheath my sword before picking up my book and also putting that away, and then turning it around towards the others.
Just so you're aware, your sword is now a +1 sword.
Yes! Yes!
Big hype.
Okay, chat, you have no idea
Might
how
Night.
happy this makes me.
Smite Knight.
Mwah. Okay, cool. Thank you. I appreciate. Okay, I should turn the music back on.
So,
Oh yeah, music.
So that was unexpected.
Aye.
Way to just steal my thunder, bro.
Give me 1 second, DM.
Oh, never mind. No playful banter.
Nope, I guess not.
Okay.
Don't worry, I got it.
I was gonna.
No,
I was gonna.
I was writing.
Okay,
I was writing stuff
okay.
down. Okay, I'm
What
sorry.
if you just take your shirt off already? I mean, it was already off earlier.
I was gonna roast Drew, but I'm just gonna do it. I was gonna be like, I don't know how much a +1 is gonna help, but
No, he also, because of Tasha's, he also got to switch some stats around too. So
okay.
And
well,
now
now
I
his
officially have
fours
a
will be
+7.
5s.
I have a +7 to hit now.
Nice.
Okay, that's
Okay.
pretty good.
that is pretty
Right.
good.
Ooh, look at you,
Almost as good
big
as
boy
Melora.
on campus. Ooh.
That's not gonna save you from ones.
I mean, you're not wrong. Okay, but not.
So-
I can't do anything about that.
Just kind of stealing my thunder there, bro.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
You know, they just kind
Congratulations
of.
to you as well.
I
Thank you.
How do you feel?
Good actually. A little, well, not disappointed, but I was, well, at the. Anyway, regardless, we should get going though. It's gonna get dark soon here.
You sure? You're good?
Yeah. Thank you, both of you, for giving me that time.
of course.
Of course.
Um,
Okay, so, and he wraps his arm around you and starts pulling you along. Which one is which? Okay, which one's Adaria? Who's the widow? You gotta explain the whole thing to me.
So Adaria is the widow. Yes.
She's the one that kissed you.
if you want to look at it like that,
we
yes.
noticed that. Melora was not happy, but we'll talk about that later.
I glance at her just momentarily before looking
Melora's
back
kind
at
of like
Kiamorra.
a little further back, given time and taking Ginger out. We'll get to that in a second.
But I'm sure we can proceed to have small talk as we
Yeah,
continue
you guys
down the
proceed to talk
mountain.
about things that you've already talked about, stuff like that. What's the small talk with Ginger? What's the tea?
I cast Speak with Animals.
Oh no. Okay. Okay.
I just want to, I basically just ask her if she wants to run around freely as we're going down the mountain.
Yeah, that would be really nice. I would really like that. That'd be
All right.
amazing.
I take
By
her
the way,
out.
I know this is the first time that we're talking to each other, but hi.
Hi,
I'm Ginger.
how are you? I'm Melora, but I'm sure you know that. I care for you very much. I hope you know.
And she gives you that look that you've seen so many times when you like just kind of like either like will start like playing with her fur or complimenting her, and it's nice to have like this this voice to it, but there's very much look of like before
I
she
give her a
like
little
nuzzles
hug.
into your
Mhm.
chest.
And then I say, all right, be careful. You know how I feel about you going too fast, especially down a mountain. But you may run.
She just takes off. She takes off into the bones and the bodies before eventually leaving the graveyard, and begins making her way through brush and dirt and rocks and gravel. Yes, Catherine?
Now, okay, so I was going to try and do this on the way back up, or on the way up, but this is perfectly fine to happen on the way back down.
Okay.
Are there any like flowers or anything like that on the path?
Not really. It's a very, very rocky, loose terrain that barely has like tough shrubbery growing out of it. There aren't a whole lot of flowering plants. Go ahead and roll a investigation check.
Okay. Could be better, could be worse. 12.
Okay. As you're going down, you guys begin. It's hard for you guys to continue a small talk as this is very hard terrain to traverse, and so you guys begin to really have to focus on just getting down and watching your feet and your placements and everything like that, so as to not cause the rocks to slip, cause a lot of loose terrain to go through, especially when you are above someone, as you don't want to cause some of the loose rubble to catch them off guard as well. But as you're going down, after about an hour or so, you can see a small purple flower off on the side of the path, just growing by itself. It looks tough, very much like a weed, a flowering weed that's kind of just survived the brutality of the elements in the landscape that's growing on and just managed to blossom just a little bit.
Sure, why not? If it's how far off the path is it?
Only like 2 or 3 feet. By grabbing one of the bushes nearby, you could probably grab it and lean over and grab the bush and lean over and grab the plant.
Sure, I'll do that.
Okay, yeah, you pluck it. It's not easy to pluck. You end up having to kind of plant your feet and grab a knife to cut it off, as the roots have spread far and deep to kind of get the little bit of moisture that can come through this rocky landscape.
Mm-hmm.
But you manage to cut it off and slowly begin making your way back onto the path and catching your footing again.
Mm-hmm. And just keep going after that.
Okay. Yeah, Kiamorra leading the way. You guys begin making your way down the path, and for the next only about 2 hours this time, as it's faster to go down than it is to go up. You guys make your way down to what begins to be a little less aggressive terrain before eventually getting down to the base of the mountain, having to try and stay close to the cave side so as to avoid detection from the guard tower, this 100-foot tower standing above you guys. Half of it being built up from the first wall, and the other half basically going up almost to the roof of the roof of the cave. These are the two tallest towers on either side, both of them going up to basically the roof of the cave, with the rest of the guard towers being about 25 feet shorter than those. But you stay close to the tower to avoid detection before eventually making yourself back, or finding yourself back down on the hillside in front of the city of Athala.
Nice.
You begin making your way west around the very, very large circle, half circle that makes up the front of Athala, and take probably another half an hour to 45 minutes before eventually getting around to the western side, where you can eventually see one lone tree with the rest of your party standing around.
That's good.
Do we make
Yeah,
it through?
do
Well,
we-
I'd like to put my hood up and hide my ears and everything, and make sure by then that Ginger is back in my pocket.
Yeah, Ginger is back in your pocket and good to go. Every once in a while, she'll make a little chip and everything like that. But yeah, you guys don't have to go back through the city or anything like that. You go around the front side
Oh,
and manage to
great.
make your way back to that tree outside of the city.
Awesome.
You'll reconvene.
Hey,
How's it going?
not too bad.
It's been better.
Um,
Did you guys go to that graveyard?
Yes.
Did it
we
look
made there.
nice?
I suppose it depends on what you define as nice and what your taste in decoration is.
Oh well, I hope they're keeping it up well. That's all.
Kathyr, you're looking a bit different.
Nice cape.
Oh, thank you. It was a gift.
From whom?
Did you rob
Kiamorra,
a grave,
was that
Kathyr?
you?
Not pretty cool.
You robbed a grave. I'm not gonna judge you.
No, I didn't loot a grave.
Okay, that's good.
It was, and I pull out the mask as well, just holding it in my hand. These were both gifts from my patrons.
Where'd you find them? Were they just laying there?
No, they weren't. They
Quite
gave
the
them
sight
to
to
me.
behold.
I
I
saw them too.
look over at Kiamorra and go, "Did your god give you something as well?"
Nice eyes.
Thank you.
Some would even call them dreamy.
I do not serve a specific god. So, no, my god did not give me anything.
Well, that's a tad bit unfortunate. I'm sorry.
That's how it goes. The gods definitely have their favorites.
So it seems.
So, you're saying that they handed them to you? Did they just appear? I'm very curious.
Yeah. Actually,
Perhaps this can be a conversation for the
Yeah.
road.
Yes. I was to say we should probably get going.
I suppose.
I
Right.
kind of look at my
We should-
hands and I go, I'm kind of running out of time.
maybe
guess.
we should rest though.
Oh,
Traveling at night is dangerous. There could be burglars. I've heard so much. I've never left the city of Athala.
well, we all know how dangerous burglars can be.
Right.
I
Yeah, that's
agree,
why I
but
said it.
I'm afraid this is where we will be parting.
Wait.
I need to return to La Stella.
What?
That actually reminds me. News of your father. I cannot guarantee that he is alive, but I know that, the masked fellow, when he arrived, he was taken from the prison, in the lowest ring, the last that my friend had heard of him.
You're saying that Parazius took my father.
As far as I know, yes. I don't know where he is now or what has been done to him, but that is what I would assume.
Okay. Thank you.
Kathyr.
I
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Continue.
you're fine. Anyway, I still need to return to La Stella. I need to inform my people and gain some allies. And you all have your own issues to deal with. It has truly been a pleasure. I have very much enjoyed my time, however brief, with each and every one of you. And I hope that I see you all again.
Do not hesitate.
Oh, Hannah, you muted.
And I think you're muted.
I am not.
Oh, you're not.
Oh,
Now we
there
can
you
hear
go.
Is there a way that we could get in contact with you if ever need be, and you with us should your honor come into question?
Yeah, probably. I don't possess anything, but I'm sure. Here, and he writes down, Valthena. This is the city that I'm from.
I will take it, and I'll put it in the same kind of safe compartment that has Havel's earring.
I'm sure we can find a courier that'll take a message that far.
Sure.
Yes.
How are you getting back?
I'm not sure yet. I'm going to probably stay in the city another day and gather some resources before, probably by horseback, riding around.
What city are we going to, Renaya? Remind me one more time. I can't hear you. I think there's a zone of
Katyn.
There it goes.
Speak louder.
Sorry, what was that?
One more time.
We're going to Katyn.
Katyn. So if you need to send a message anytime soon, we will be heading towards that city. If not there, I will try to remember to let the couriers know within Katyn that if a message comes from you, to send it to wherever we're going.
Perfect. This is weird. I don't leave people normally. Normally I'm surrounded by people that I've traveled with for a long time. Anyway, you all should go, and I need to stay. So, I'll go up to. He goes up to Tarak first. Would you mind taking my hand? I know you don't like touching.
Oh, sure.
He grabs past your hand and grabs your wrist before
Okay, well,
pulling,
yep.
like just ever so gently in and not actually touching you. Kind of dips his head in.
I do an awkward double back.
He then goes over to you, Edward.
Kiamorra?
I take your hand.
Sure. And Edward grabs it. Does the thing.
Yeah, he pulls you in. Keep doing good work.
And Kiamorra, before you go, you keep talking about how you failed, and I can see that when you speak you feel rather defeated. Well, I want you to know that I really do think that with your attitude and the hard work you've put in, that your father would be proud. And I know how much weight that can have on what you think of yourself and how you feel about how well you're doing. And I just wanted you to know that I'm impressed, and I think your father would be too. And I hope you find him, but if you don't carry around that weight, because it's not a fun one.
He pulls you in again and again rests his forehead against yours. Thank you.
You're welcome.
He then goes up to you, Havel. May I take your hand?
Of course. Thought you'd never ask.
Pulls you in tight, resting his forehead against yours to
Right.
help them stay sane.
I will do my
Also-
best.
I hope that your hands work out. Those are important.
Me too. Kiamorra,
Yes, Havel.
I understand that you're in a very particular situation right now. I don't want you doing anything stupid, though.
I promise I won't do anything stupid. Nothing that you wouldn't do, Havel.
Attaboy.
Then goes up.
Really quickly, the other thing as well.
Yeah.
Anything Anything at all. We are one message away. We'll be there as soon as we can.
As are you. I very much care about all of you, and you've become very good allies of mine. Please do not hesitate to call or to try and get a hold of me. I will do my best to bring myself and what resources I can.
Right.
He goes up to Renaya. May I take your hand? He pulls you in and shuts his head against yours.
When they touch heads, she goes, boop.
I know I didn't talk to you much, but you were my favorite. Steps back.
I mean, hey, true for all of us.
He then turns to you, Melora. May I take your hand? He pulls you in, sets his forehead against yours. Take care of Kathyr. He's going to need you. And talk to Ginger. She has a lot of stories.
May I ask you something?
He steps back. Of course.
Try to write even if nothing is wrong. I think we would be happy to hear from you either way.
Okay, I can do that.
Thank you.
And then he turns to you, Kathyr. May I take your hand, Kathyr?
I clasp it.
He pulls you in, rests his forehead against yours. Try not to let your burdens carry you too hard, carry too heavy on your shoulders. And trust your friends.
I take a moment and pull him into a hug.
He hugs you back.
Take care of yourself.
I will. You do the same. Don't let Melora get too sad.
I'll do what I can.
He steps back. Well, it's getting dark and you guys should really head out. I don't know how far you're going to get, but I will probably be gone by tomorrow, so... yeah, I don't
Safe
know
travels.
what you're planning, but aye, you as well.
And Kiamorra, remember yesterday how I said that if I didn't come back, I might write a song? I might.
Yes?
I might.
I look forward to hearing that, as many bards will sing it, I'm sure.
Well, I sure hope so. Perhaps it'll bless your ears someday, my genius.
It would truly be a blessing. So,
I hope to see you again.
I do as well.
I speak for all of us, by the way.
Thank you.
Well, we didn't want you getting in trouble with curfew, so...
No, I probably should get back. We're probably pushing it a little bit.
Right. Didn't want to make more trouble for you. So...
No. And he pulls his hood up that conveniently has little holes for horns.
That's cute.
I need to get me one of those.
Hold on. Before turning and entering back to the city.
I was gonna say before he goes, I do let him know that if he wants to send any mail, he can send it to me, like to my name,
Okay.
just so that way he has someone in particular to like try to
Okay.
get it to.
Yeah. We'll say that you had said that when
Yeah.
you guys were talking.
Okay.
So, you guys are left, just the six of you again, standing in front of the city of Athala. A place that brought you all together and has brought a lot of pain. You turn, so your backs are to it, and begin making your way.
Aye.
So, Renaya, really quick while we're on our way. Who are you taking us to?
She's my mentor.
Your mentor.
Yes.
Religiously, personally.
A little bit of both.
And you trust her?
With everything.
Have you seen her remove a curse before?
I don't believe so.
Do you think she can?
I think she can.
How did you get in contact with her?
I have really cool paper.
Show me.
And then I pull out the paper and the quill.
Okay.
What does it do?
Well,
It looks like normal parchment.
Yes, but when I write on it, it is also written on the paper she has, so she can see anything I write and I can see anything she writes.
Interesting. Should have made one of those for Kiamorra. But you're 100% confident in this. I'm betting my life on this.
I am 100% confident in this.
Okay. In that case, I'll put 100% of my trust in you. I mean, I'm going to be quite literally skin and bones by the time we get there, so let's hope that it'll be quick.
In one piece.
Okay. Looking forward to getting my feeling in my fingers back.
Only a few days away.
So, you guys begin making your way on what you know, Renaya leading the way on what she knows to be known as the Obsidian Road. This is a pretty common road that leads through a lot of the northern half of Ocleron, especially when you're traveling along the base of the mountains. A lot of these mountains there's a lot of the mountains in this range that are actually just volcanoes, and so there's a lot of obsidian and volcanic rock that kind of forms out of these. And so using that, they kind of formed a path along the base of the mountains made out of this obsidian and these volcanic rocks, these blackened volcanic rocks, to kind of mark the landscape in a very, very contrasting color compared to the rest of the, now that it's spring, beginning to become green again, grass and grasslands that move through, and the rocky outcrops of the mountains. You follow along basically the top of this hill, top of the base at the base of these mountains, and begin making your way through. And you get about, let's see, 2 or 3 miles before it eventually gets to the point where it's dark enough and you guys have been awake for long enough that you know that it'd be best to set up camp and a long rest.
All right. Neato.
Are there any trees around?
Every once in a while you'll see a random tree poking through. It is grasslands and it's not like a forest or anything like that. But there are the occasional trees every once in a while. Not close enough to be able to jump around in them, but you can climb one every once in a while.
All right. There's not any probably strong enough to sleep in.
Not where you guys are at right now.
All right. I will scan the perimeter.
Okay. Yeah.
Of the spot that we kind of want to choose.
Yeah. Make a perception check.
Nice. 26.
You see everything. Your elven eyes, Legolas, see everything. You can look out and see. You guys have begun to move past the farmland a little bit, and so that's more to your backside. And you're beginning to head into these rolling hills with little crops of rock every once in a while, but there's this rolling grassland. Sorry, I'm chewing on something.
You're fine.
Even making your way through these rolling hills, following along the Obsidian Road, every once in a while there'll be a little outcrop for people to make camp at, with pre-built fireplaces and not fireplaces, but fire pits.
Sure.
And eventually you guys can come across one of these around the time, and so you could stop here at one of these outcrops if you guys wanted, or you can keep going and try and find your own way, whichever you'd like to do.
All right. This is a place where we could make camp. We could stop here for the night. We could keep going, but I didn't know what's ahead. I do know that there is this now. So.
Are you sure that it would be safe?
Well, I mean, people make, as you can see, Edward, and I kind of pull him, usher him towards me. There is a place to make camp, for travelers. So it's as safe as it's going to be, probably, and there is a fire pit already, so making a fire will be even easier than it would be if we were on our own. So
And you've done this before?
I live in the wilderness, so I have done this many times. I do think that this will be safe.
Okay, well, I'll let you guys do whatever you think is best. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
Does anyone else have any objections for stopping for the night?
I have no issues with it.
Not quite.
All right.
As long as it's safe, I suppose.
Right. Does anyone have issues with making a fire? Or do we want to kind of try to say not so obvious that we're here?
I don't think a fire would be a problem.
Alright.
I see no reason that it would be an issue to have a fire.
Then I will make one. I'll go over and I'll use the fire pit to make a fire.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of firewood
Dry.
left in it.
Okay.
But there
Could
is just
I-
enough that you can get started on something.
Alright.
Probably not anything to sustain you throughout the night.
Okay,
but-
so then I will start it, and then I will come back and kind of say, if anyone wants to start, if we want to make some sort of a tent like we made last time, or just sleep in our bedrolls, I have no issue, but I'm going to go get some firewood and kindle, so...
Kiamorra did that last time, didn't he? I helped him once.
DM.
DM, good. Now's a good time to ask this question.
Yeah.
Didn't we go buy a tent?
No.
We never specified.
We talked about it, but we didn't
that's-
ever
that's a shame.
DM.
actually do it, but...
Yeah.
How's the weather looking tonight?
Tonight it is nice and clear. There's the occasional cloud, but nothing too much weather-wise to be concerned about.
Wunderbar. I say that we just cowboy camp then.
Yeah.
Are we in like mid-spring or like early spring?
Early spring. It's gonna be chilly.
So still pretty cold.
Yeah, it's still gonna be chilly. Probably not dipping
Well,
beneath
we still-
freezing,
Yeah.
but definitely not the most comfortable.
We do still have bedrolls and blankets, so we should be okay.
Is Malora out getting firewood, right?
I am about to go,
Trying to.
yes.
I go with her.
Alright.
I guess I go with her probably too.
As they're going real quick,
Day.
Edward says, Tarak,
Yeah.
I gave Igor his coat back,
Good.
but I forgot to get another.
Okay.
It's gonna get really cold, isn't it?
The farmers in the distance. Cold is relative. I lived in the desert when night fell. But it was normally like we didn't really have bedrolls or a whole lot of blankets. It was pretty much just furs, and then you would find a group of people huddle up and then share body heat.
Huddle up?
Well, yes.
We won't have to do that, right? The bedrolls...
Oh no, it is not nearly as cold as it gets in the desert here.
Oh, okay, though that's good. I
So as
prefer to
long
have
as-
my personal space.
I mean,
And
it
I'm-
might be a little bit chilly, but as long as you stay in your bedroll, you should be fine.
Okay. Okay.
Worst comes to worst, you get a little bit of frostbite, lose a couple toes, but
What? Renaya, is that true? Looks at Renaya. Will it get so cold that our toes will fall off?
Probably not here, but it's always a possibility.
I mean, it's early
Oh,
spring,
no.
so I would say there's only like a 40% chance.
I should have brought a jacket.
Maybe 60. Maybe I've got the numbers flipped around. It's hard to know. I think you'll be fine.
Okay.
If you can't feel your feet, I suggest you run around. Anyway, we should get make sure that fire's going. Keep some stuff on it. You know, as you do. I'm sure that they're having fun collecting firewood or whatever they're doing.
Yeah. So the three of you guys begin heading out. Which direction do you go? Towards the mountain or towards the fields?
I would think towards the fields, just to try to get, at the very least, like, kindle and, like, dry sticks and things like that.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I have tinder, but we need something that'll burn long term, so...
Aye. So, actually, that's a good point. Do I remember the last time I saw a tree?
There's a tree, like 100 yards back or so.
Can I go around there and see if one of the branches has fallen or is falling, or if there's anything that has fallen like around the tree?
You can see there's a few different twigs and small branches, nothing large by any means, and everything on it is still growing.
Right.
But you managed to get enough kindling to at least get a fire started, or another fire started if you wanted.
Alright, I didn't think that this will last very long. However, I am not a fan of cutting from a tree that's still living.
Is it a religious thing, or?
I think it's a way I was raised. Every living thing deserves to stay living as long as it's meant to, so...
Right. I mean, but if we cut a limb, it'll grow back, won't it?
Aye, it will, but I will not be the one to do it.
Well, what's a little bit more red in my lantern? Does anyone have a hatchet or something? What?
Haval, just as a note,
Sure.
even if we get the branch cut off,
They're
it's
going
gonna
to
have
be-
a lot of
they're-
moisture
Yes,
in it
I'm
anyway.
fully aware. But we don't have any other choice, do we? I mean, do you want me to walk all the way back to Athala and try to get ourselves some wood?
No, of
No.
course not.
It might just be that we don't really have a fire tonight.
Yeah, the
We'll
unfortunate.
have our bed rolls. I mean, this kindling will get a fire for, I'd say, at least long enough for a few of us to fall asleep.
Alright. So, Kathyr, Melora, you two cuddle together. Edward and Tarak will cuddle together. Renaya, she can take Ginger. I'll go walk somewhere and bury myself to try to keep warm. I don't know.
Good luck getting Edward anywhere near huddling with anybody, and I didn't think that will be necessary for tonight. It's not that cold outside. We do have blankets, but
Okay.
if you wish to have the tree branch, like I said, it will not be from my hand.
Okay. You all can head back to the camp if you'd like. I want to stay here and enjoy the cool air a little bit.
Havel,
Yes, Melora.
you know how I feel about you being alone.
I'll be back. 10 minutes. You can count
10
it.
minutes.
10 minutes.
If
And
10 minutes pass, I will come looking for you, and if I find out that you get yourself into trouble, there will be words.
If 10 minutes pass, I solemnly allow you to knock an arrow and run it through my calf, so that way I can no
hold you
longer
to that.
move.
I look
Away.
around quick. Is there anyone anywhere within eyesight?
Roll a perception check.
Cool. Perception.
And that is a promise.
I will hold you to that, Havel. Didn't
Good.
think I won't.
Good.
19?
You don't see. Obviously, you can see the farmland in the distance, and the occasional hut on that farmland. But there's no other travelers that you can see on this path. From what you know from traveling around Drew, you know that the Obsidian Pass, or not the Obsidian Pass, but the Obsidian Road does go through Oclaron. But a lot of the travelers are either coming north along the Garnet Road, or they are coming from the east from going around the mountains. So heading west along the path, west along the road past Athala is a very, very, it's a far less traveled path, as it basically leads to like 2 or 3 coastal towns, and that's about it.
Okay.
But yeah, you don't see any people on there. You do see some shrubs up on the mountains, just like you did going through with Kiamorra and Melora. A variety of shrubs in various forms of life. And so you see those, but no people or anything like that.
10 minutes, Havel. That's what you got, alright?
You can only do it.
This is against my better judgment. And I turn and I begin to walk back.
Look towards Melora. Look towards Havel. Look back towards Melora. Look back towards Havel.
I'll be fine.
I kind of walk over and say to Havel quickly, it's like, I think you should be fine, to be honest. I don't know what you're doing. Anyway,
I'm just.
I gotta go.
Yep.
Now.
Go.
120 feet.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
I know. Go.
Burning.
I do worry about you a lot.
Oh, God, you were listening, weren't you?
From around that tree, you see the familiar face of Kathyr step around.
You do like to keep tabs.
Only on my favorites.
I'm not sure if I should be proud or concerned.
Have you thought more of our deal?
I have.
And?
I'm conflicted, if I'm going to be honest.
What?
Well, we have a solution, but I honestly don't know whether or not I should put entire faith on it. I'm a man of contingencies.
That's good. Contingencies are good.
But then again, giving you another ounce of leverage against me makes me ache.
I'm offended.
As you
I've
should
done
be.
Nothing but help you. Why would you have any reason to mistrust
You've helped me greatly. But I know your type. I know you're kind.
No, that's just stereotyping.
Is it?
I am but a humble servant to men in need.
Right. Okay. I'll tell you what. Today's the last day, right? Past this, your offer is void.
Yes.
I don't need a month. I don't. A month is too long. And the price is too heavy. The last time I did a job like that, I almost got myself killed. I did get myself... well... yeah.
So what do you want, Haval?
I don't think what I want matters. Right? I don't think it ever has. I want peace of mind. I want control again.
Control.
Control.
And how can I provide this for you?
I'm not entirely sure if I want you to provide it for me. I'm sorry.
Sugar coming in clutch.
Yeah.
How?
Well, okay. I'm not sure if I want you to provide it for me because I don't know what you provide.
I can provide whatever you need.
And that's the
What
concerning
keeps you
part.
sleep easy at night.
See, Kathyr, because I've always been curious. I have an inkling as to what you are, who you are. Don't know exactly, though. You see, for the thing is, you're no god. Not by any means. But yet you have these abilities that surpass most beings. So if we're going to be business partners, tell me, what exactly are you?
I am a purveyor of nature's blessings.
So are most cows that have been overfed.
That is also true. If you wish to call me a cow from here on out, that is fine with me.
No. I respect my connections.
Well, that's good. So, the deal is off then?
You know, against my better judgment. Yes, the deal is off. I made a promise to someone to trust others. And like I said, against my better judgment, I think I'm going to try to stick to that, at least for a little bit. Maybe it'll get me killed, but don't worry, I'm sure this won't be the last time that you get your opportunity for that stuff.
I'm sure it will not. I have other people I can ask for it for. Well, I will leave you to your evening.
Oh, really quickly, Kathyr, just a quick question. Amongst, casual conversation.
Yes.
You know people. You can receive information. You know of me, of my past. Could you give me even the slightest inkling of word that happened back home? I want to know what's happening in Laurentia.
Laurentia is flourishing.
And
East Bravania had some issues with Akleron separating from their treaties, but it has allowed for business with Athane and even La Stella to grow. And so the people of East Bravania are thriving with new commerce and new business partners. Merencia being its capital is the focal point of that growth.
And if of the 6, they're pushed out of Athola. I assume they're still high and dry, though. Up
They're
in
making
there.
their way.
Wonderful. I appreciate that.
Of course, anything for a friend.
The friend you are. I apologize for saying no to your offer. I thank you,
It's
though,
all right.
for even the consideration. I must get going, though, or else an arrow will end up in one of my better arteries.
If that does happen, let me know. I'd be happy to help.
I'm sure you would. Have a nice night.
And
Good
he,
night, Kathyr.
much like the gods, walks behind the tree and disappears.
Oh. I really should attune to that item I bought. Okay, yeah, Hal's gonna return.
Hey, Melora, how do you
Aye.
feel about hunting?
Why do you ask?
Well, there isn't any wood nearby, but you may be able to find some animals, and although the bones don't burn, fat would.
You're suggesting killing and burning an animal?
Oh no, we would eat the animal, but the bones contain fat and can be burned, and then heck, you can even turn it into fertilizer after if you crush it. I don't know if that appeals to you or anything. I know you like the whole tree stuff.
I am very skilled in this area, however, I try not to kill animals unless they are in great pain and need relief.
That's fine, that's fine. I was just asking.
My father used to go hunting. Sounds messy and stinky, though. I mean, if we could avoid it, we have rations.
Aye.
Oh, I was just mainly for the fire. The food is just because you don't want to burn the whole thing, because that's a lot of smoke, oil. It's not great, kind of a waste.
Aye.
Anyway,
I guess
Yeah.
it's up to you then.
Can I think of other ways to try to help the fire that does not involve killing an animal?
Look up the hillside and see many of those little shrubs that you
Right.
used to help traverse up the hillside. And you can see that there are a variety of them in different stages of life. Some of them are recovering from the winter and some of them are not. You think that with a good tug, you could probably get a few of those out.
Alright. I have an idea. We may not have to resort to that sort of thing. Kathyr, if you would.
I stand up. Yeah.
I think that there are some of those shrubs that we passed by earlier that would make some pretty good firewood.
Aye,
But-
it's probably true.
It's more than 120 feet away, and I will probably need help with it.
I will assist in every way I can.
Alright. I start leading.
Okay. Yeah. Melora leading the way, she trudges up the mountain before finding, every once in a while she'll find one bush that probably could be removed and burned, and she'll with a good tug, rip it out, hand it to Catherine, and keep making her way up, basically just letting him be her pack mule for a little while before eventually getting 4 or 5 of these bushes.
Nice.
I think that'll do us good for tonight at the very least.
Yeah.
All right. So, how do you feel about what happened today?
Good. I wasn't necessarily expecting it, but I wasn't surprised either.
Right.
I was hoping there'd be, I don't know, bit of maybe some answers, but it seems that I haven't gotten that far yet.
My
That's
mother
alright.
always said the gods work in mysterious ways, and they didn't work for us, unfortunately.
Right she is. Right she was. And you're doing alright?
I
Glad
think
to be out
so.
of the city?
I am. I think I'm alright. You know, I was pretty shaken up about my dream, but today is a new day, and I hope that, you know, I can be okay for a few more.
Right. That is interesting, though.
Which part?
Do you did you say you saw? Did you see the Fae that we met before in your dream?
No. I saw another. Give me a second. I have it.
Just
I saved a picture.
Oh, nice.
She describes a
Thank you.
armor-clad woman.
I found it, yeah.
Very, very large in size, with bronze gilded armor and a wide mouth covered by a helmet that comes down almost into kind of a beak, with this wide smiling face of sharpened teeth and a almost crown that kind of makes the visage of a sunset with these spikes that come out and around from the top of her crown. Yeah, that's what she describes.
As far as I know, I haven't seen her before until then, but she made it sound like she knew me. Didn't get to speak to her though, so could have been cryptic about, you know, she saw me in the Feywild or something like that when we were there for the hag, but...
Sure, yeah. I don't know, it's just, this thought has been rattling around in my mind. We go fight a hag who happens to be working for this Archfey, this lady in the black dress with horns,
right?
Who seems very similar to the lady you saw in that temple. That was trying to be found by our lovely friend who is now in Athola,
Right.
who happens to be talking about someone else who's coming, who is going to rule, and that they don't need the gods.
Right.
And I doubt that that Archfey has a high opinion of the gods. Just all very interesting.
I think that this will not be the only time that she visits me. I actually think that she had something to do with, well, this. Didn't know though. It's hard to say.
A little raccoon. Just go.
Yeah, a little raccoon. Didn't know right though. But I'm all right today. A little bit better. Sad to see Kiamorra go, of course, but
Yeah. I hope he can. Well, to be honest, I don't have any high hopes for his father. but maybe he can at least find some sense of peace and I don't know, find a way back to his people.
Aye. So, your oath. Do you want to tell me about it? Are you allowed to speak about what it means, what you're going to do now with people that aren't a part of your faith?
I mean, I don't know. I don't get the sense that the three I serve have any desire of spreading what I believe. I think it's different. I think it's more like finding specific people.
All right.
And I have a feeling I know what that means, but I don't know if I really want to say it out loud.
All right. Well, if you end up wanting to talk about it, you could come to me if you want that. I'm not trying to pry, just trying to...
No,
I mean, we're going to be around each other for a long time. If you start doing crazy things, I think I should know about it.
Yeah. I will. Do what I can, at least.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. We should get back, though. It is getting a little dark out and cold.
Right.
Do you
After
have all
breeze
those?
through a bundle of bushes that are like stacked.
Yeah,
high
yeah.
on
Do
its
you
head.
need me to take one of those?
I
I take two, and I continue down.
Yeah.
You guys make your way down to the remnants of a small fire. Tarak has kind of been nursing it a little bit. And you pop on one of the bushes, and it immediately begins to ignite and take flame and produce a small but actual fire, providing a little bit of the much needed warmth now that the cold is beginning to set in.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank you, guys. It was
This
getting so
should-
dark.
Aye, this should we have enough, hopefully, to last at least through most of the night. Are we going to take watches? I'll take the first if need be.
I think that's a good idea.
All right.
Stretching a bit, so I'm gonna rest, but then I can take second.
All right.
To be quite honest, I don't know if I can sleep.
So you want to take a watch? You want to take a watch, Edward?
I didn't say that. I did not say I wanted to take a watch, but
Kind of sounded like you did, though, a little bit there. Cryptic as it was. Well, if you choose not to go to sleep, I will be taking watch.
I might choose not to sleep.
By the way, is Edward at all shivering by chance?
He's cold, but he's definitely huddled to the fire. Not
I'm
quite
holding
shivering,
myself, though.
But yeah, holding himself whole 9 yards.
All right.
I'm just really not used to sleeping outside.
That's fair. So, I will take first watch. If Edward chooses not to sleep, then he will technically also take first watch. Renaya has second. Does anyone want to watch with Renaya? Or are we kind of going solo tonight?
I can make sure Renaya doesn't get into any trouble.
Alright. Anyone for third if need be?
I'll take it.
I'm pretty tired, so
It's just fine, Haval. That's just fine. Alrighty then, you lot get to bed. I go to kind of tender the fire, and I kind of, for lack of a better word, set up shop and like make myself a little comfortable and make sure Ginger's comfortable to take watch.
Does Edward have a blankie?
You have a bedroll and a blanket.
Everyone should have a bedroll, a blanket. Melora and Kathyr made sure everyone had one of those.
Alrighty, so Edward will take his blankie and wrap it around himself, but he's kind of sitting like holding his knees next to the fire.
Okay.
Edward, do you have a cloak?
No. I
Jacket?
had a jacket. It's gone. I forgot to get another one.
Here, I'll rummage around in my bag real quick, pull out my old cloak.
You would give
It's-
that to me.
You can have it. I mean, it's kind of ratty, but it's seen some travel, but it will serve you well.
Well, I'll take anything at this point. And Edward drops his blanket for a moment. And then, yeah, grabs the cloak and doesn't clasp it on or anything. Just kind of wraps himself in it. And then takes the blanket with one arm and does his best to wrap himself with the blanket. And I'm going to roll for that. And that's a nat 1.
Nice.
Oh no.
So he cannot get the blanket.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Do I see this?
Yes, 100%. You've been watching this whole thing take place.
I would like to go over and help with the other side frustratedly,
Thank you.
and then just go back. But I won't say anything. I'll just come over and just like. and then go back.
Before I go to bed, I'll just kneel down next to Melora and just quietly whisper, "And you thought I couldn't take care of myself."
Right, very clever. Go to sleep.
I will.
DM,
Yeah.
really quickly. I'm going to tonight, if I can, try to attune
Okay.
to the bell.
Yeah, definitely.
And technically the helmet.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're attuned to both of those. So, yeah, you now have been attuned to your amulet of
Anti-scrying.
Scrying.
anti-scrying. Is that what I named it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
something like
anti-scrying, and your helm of comprehend languages.
Cool. And I use a little bit of twine and I make a bracelet out
Okay.
of, for the
For the
small
bell?
bell. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, 100%. Anything else the rest of you do? Perfect. Drew, you level up to level 3. Yay! Yay, very exciting. And Melora and Edward, you guys take first watch. I'll have you guys go ahead and roll perception checks.
Did Kiamorra level up?
You'll never know.
Side note.
Don't do
side
us
note,
like
I
that. We know he
rolled-
did.
I rolled a 7 on die, which is above average, which makes me happy.
I rolled another nat 1.
No. Well, you are very cold. Well, I rolled an 18.
Make
Nice.
it a 4.
So.
And Edward's technically just not sleeping. Get, you know.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
He's not taking watch, guys. He's just not sleeping.
right.
Edward, you're very enamored by the fire and the way this bush is burning. And between that and the cold on your backside and the heat on your front, it's
And
hard
the
to pay
emotional
attention.
trauma.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you begin thinking about the events that transpired today, the realization of your father and the potential for this new lead in information and education, and Charles spilling secrets that you would have expected him to share long ago, and all of this begins playing over in your mind, and you stare deeply into the fire. Yes, Melora?
Can I make an insight check to see how he's doing?
100%, go for it.
All right. It's not the best. It's a 13.
Okay. You can tell that he's deep in thought. His face is pretty blank, pretty stoic, but definitely thinking hard on something.
So, did you get to see your mother?
Oh, yes. I do miss her. I didn't get to speak to her or anything, but I did see her.
Oh, how much you said you missed home before when we were in the Feywild? Was it what you thought it would be, being back for a few hours?
It was wonderful. Seeing the foyer again
Sure.
and the kitchen. Oh, I missed the things Charles would whip up. And I saw my room, which, strangely,
Your room?
yeah, strangely I missed a lot, which I thought I wouldn't. I saw Charles.
Well, it's where. Sure. Charles, he's your
Butler. Servant.
butler.
Whatever you want to
Oh.
say. He was
You have
good
one
to
of
me.
those.
Yeah, I miss him.
Sure.
I didn't see my father. Perhaps that was good.
Really?
Well, yeah.
Do you have a complicated relationship with your family, Edward?
I mean, kind of, I guess.
You didn't have to tell me. I'm not trying to pry. Just I can tell that you have a lot on your mind, so I was just trying to. If you didn't want to talk about it, it's totally fine.
Ugh, no, it's
know.
fine. It's just
Family can be a touchy subject for people, so
sure. It's just there's a lot on my mind. I'm learning a lot
sure.
about how things go, about my father and things like that. Things I'd never thought
Sure.
I'd have to learn, or things I never even foresaw knowing. If that makes sense, I'm not sure what to think anymore.
It's very hard to think things are a certain way your entire life, and then suddenly that's ripped out from under you.
That is what it's like, isn't it?
I
thought going out on my own would be, I don't know, revitalizing, would cause a spark in me.
Has it
And maybe
not?
it has in small ways. But it feels more like a burden than anything right now. But at the same time, I'm learning. So if I would have stayed, maybe I'd learn in ways that I didn't want to learn, if that makes sense.
Sure.
It's all very confusing. You remind me of my mother, you know.
Do I? In what way?
Yes. My mother was a wood elf. Her name was Niefendil.
It's a beautiful name.
It is. She liked things that were beautiful. She's quite beautiful.
I'm sure.
I felt like she understood me. She encouraged me in magic and music, and she enjoyed the nature, as you do.
Did your father not so much?
My father was straightforward. He knew what he cared about, and he defended those things. They weren't all bad things. He cares about things running well, being prepared, things like that.
Sounds like my mother.
Really? My father reminds you of your mother.
I mean, I'm in some ways, from what you've described, my father was like how you've described your mother to me. Always supporting what I wanted to do, what I wanted to try. Didn't much care whether it was traditional that I be the one to go hunting with him. I wanted to go, and that was enough for him.
I'm glad you had that relationship with your father. That's been very nice.
I'm glad you had that relationship with your mother.
Yes. Did you know Niefendil? I doubt it. Where are you from? I'm sorry to assume things. I don't want to say all wood elves know each other or anything like that.
It's all right. I did not. I was from. Oh. Give me a moment.
Can you not remember where you hail from? Has it been that long?
Let me reflect on whether I recognize that name.
Why are you laughing?
No. What did you say her name was?
Niefendil? N-E-I-F... Wait, how? N-E-I-F-I-N-D-I-L? Niefendil?
Interesting.
No, I think it's N-E-I-F-E-N-D-I-L.
Right.
I can't remember. That's embarrassing.
It's not a very common name, is it?
No. I don't remember what it means.
The odds of two people being named that are pretty low.
You know another Nifendil? Well, I know it's Elven. Perhaps.
I didn't remember much from my childhood, but I did have an aunt that had a name like that.
Oh, really? Interesting. Well, where are you from?
She doesn't sound anything like what you described, though. So I didn't think that would be.
I'm sure there are several Nifendils. It's an Elven name. I
I
mean, what would be the odds, right?
Right.
Plus, you would absolutely know if she was a Fellows.
Right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You're completely 100% correct.
I mean, your family would be well off for the rest of your life if you were related to the Fellows.
If they were around to live well off. I'm from Vianola, the forest area, a very small village, so the odds of a very well off elf coming around are very low.
Wait. You said you're from Vianola?
Aye.
What part of Vianola?
Oh, it's just a small village. It's not on a map. You probably never would have heard of it, but it's called Benrig.
Oh yeah, I don't know of that. I don't know what that is. I
didn't
don't know
think
much
so.
of Vianola, anyways.
That's fair. Didn't think so, but it was just me and my family and a few other little houses in a small area.
That sounds so nice. I mean, it sounds crazy. It sounds horrifying, but it also sounds nice.
I mean, horrifying for you, maybe, but the city was horrifying for me, so
That's
I
fair.
suppose.
This is horrifying for me. I forgot we were in the dark for a moment. Now I'm remembering.
Well, didn't remember for a moment. We didn't have to think about the dark. We could think about the fire. We could think about how good it might be for Renaya to see her mentor again. I'm sure that will be very nice for her.
Oh yes, Renaya's mentor. I'm sure she's great. I mean, Renaya seems wonderful.
Absolutely.
Although she did punch me the first time I met her.
I'm pretty sure you deserved that one.
I was just walking through the door. I did nothing. I didn't say anything. She saw me and just socked me right in the maw. It was horrible. But she seems nice.
She is very nice. I would know.
What does that mean? Are you guys friends?
I would say we're friends.
That's good.
We've had a watch together. We know a lot about each other. I care very much for her. So she is very nice. I can attest to that. And I'm sure her mentor is just as lovely.
Sure.
But
she seems kind of lonely. I mean, maybe we are all a little bit lonely.
I think that you're right about that one in our own ways. But
Laura.
I
Do you like music?
I do.
You probably don't. I mean, you've been on your own for a while. You probably don't hear it much.
No, I mean, if I had the pleasure of happening to fall asleep in a tree that was above a camp, then I might hear a song or two, but didn't much get the pleasure of my own music unless it's the sound of the birds outside.
Did you
my
ever
father
think...
used to play the flute, though.
The flute? Ah, yes. I do enjoy the flute. Have you ever had the pleasure of falling asleep in a camp with music?
No.
Because I have a lute, and I like music.
So you want to play music until you fall asleep? Or
No.
until I fall asleep?
We have a job to do, but I can play music.
Aye. Well,
It helps me
I
calm
mean,
down.
If you'd like to play music and it wouldn't wake the others, I'd be happy to hear a song.
Should I? I will. I'm gonna do it.
All right.
Okay.
I'm just gonna play this on loop, basically. This is what I'll play. and then just loop that over and over and over. And I'm just gonna do that without words for however long as it takes.
So
That's
you play that for 4 hours.
Heck
Before
yeah.
eventually-
He'll change it up every now and then.
Before eventually Melora goes to awake Renaya and Kathyr.
Good, that's over. My hand was getting tired.
that was very lovely, Edward. You're
Thank
very
you.
talented.
It was my mother's favorite, that little tune. Might as well go to bed. I'm tired now.
So.
New theme song for the Edward Melora ship.
Oh no!
Oh no!
I'll make a song out of it. We'll release it on Patreon or something.
No,
No promises. No promises. That
So
is not
anyway.
canon.
Kathyr, Renaya, you guys wake up. Melora looks visibly shaken.
So I think Tarak was going to take the watch after you two, so I didn't see anything concerning. Didn't think you have much to worry about, but if you need anything, obviously I'll be right over there. So
Night.
good night, and I go no. I'll lay down.
I look at Renaya. I look back at Melora. Look at Edward. Look back at Melora.
You look at the 3 most beautiful women you know.
Why, thank you.
I want to make a note, more particularly for anyone with high enough perception.
No, so not me.
No. Havel's probably having a nightmare and is not sitting still. Just for
Okay.
anyone that
Melora
Okay.
definitely notices that.
I would like to, before I go to bed, go over and okay.
be careful. We all know what happened last time.
I know. So I will very strategically first, before anything else, disarm him.
Roll a sleight of hand check.
Oh, that's nice.
It's like that trope where they just
Um,
keep pulling out weapons.
That's a 21.
That beats his passive perception of what? 9?
9.
Yeah. That beats his passive perception.
Yeah.
You pull out like 7 daggers,
Right,
and
right.
his 1 rapier, I believe.
Yeah.
So with that, I would like to fix the blanket and position myself so that his head is on my chest and replicate how Kathyr held me when it helped me.
Aww. So it's a little difficult because Kathyr was leaning against a wall, and so he was sitting upright.
Mhm.
But you managed to kind of finagle him without waking him up, so that he is laying on your chest, and he begins to breathe a little bit easier. Only
I
a little.
will. Right. I will stay in this position until I feel that his breathing is normal, and then I will sleep next to him.
Look at Melora, party mom.
Kathyr and Renaya, go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Yes, sir. Not bad. 16.
Okay.
9.
Yeah. Okay. You guys begin to notice the clouds roll in ever so gently, just a few more than there were earlier. But nothing too concerning to you shows up.
Nice. If I can, while sitting there, I'm going to pull out my letter that was at one point completed.
Okay.
I will take out another page, and I will I will add a little bit more. Considering the fact it's now been 4 months. So yeah.
Yeah, you start jotting down some of the details that have happened over the last week or so, and begin filling that last page.
Yeah.
Renaya will look over see him riding and then be like, oh, okay, and then kind of look the other way.
Okay.
As a note, it doesn't take me 4 hours to complete that.
No. After about 30 minutes or so, you finish
Yeah.
writing up.
Yeah, I'll put it away and just kind of look at the group and look out, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Your guys' 4 hours go by before eventually your internal clock tells you that it's time for you to return to sleep and awake Tarak.
At that point, I will walk over to Renaya. It's probably better if you wake him up.
I was just going to say I'll take care of it.
Yeah. And I'll just kind of sit down and not go back to sleep because I've already had a long rest technically. So I'll just kind of relax.
How is everybody looking?
Melora looks concerned, even in her sleep. Havel looks
Tired.
like he's resting. Yeah, tired. Tired's a good way of saying it. Havel looks tired, but is asleep. Tarak is clutching his bag, as he always does. Edward looks like he's finally starting to get fairly warm. And Kathyr is sitting there, his hood down, or his hood up, so that his face is partially covered.
Okay, then I will go over to Tarak and gently kind of shake his arm a little bit.
Hold on.
Stab Renaya. Be on
Every
brand.
time.
I physically don't have the capability to stab Renaya because I don't carry any weapons that actually deal stabby or slashy damage. But that's a high number. So it's a tense fists look, fists down. But time for watch. I'm sorry. What was that?
Tell me when my mic's working.
There you go.
There we go.
So many audio issues today, guys.
If you'd like, I can stay up with you as well for the third watch.
Oh, if you need sleep, then sleep. I'll be fine.
We're elves. We're rested. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, if you want to stay awake, stay awake. If you don't, go to sleep. Extra sleep never hurt anyone. I'm just not going to force you to do anything that you don't want.
Beg to differ.
Well, that wouldn't be the first thing that we disagree on, Kathyr.
You're not wrong.
I'll
I mean,
just
I'm
be
glad
over
for the
there.
company, but you can go. By the way, you see Melora and Havel? Like, what's that? Is that a new thing?
I did notice that too. Yeah.
Oh. Any thoughts on this, Kathyr?
I don't know why you'd
I think we
be
should
really
let
concerned about what I think.
Kathyr get some rest.
Yeah. I'll just be keeping watch
Okay.
over here.
I'll be over there if you need me. I don't think I'm going to get much more rest. So just let me know.
Sounds great. I begin to keep watch.
Okay, go ahead and roll perception checks. Well, that's going on, Hannah.
I was just going to say that my passive perception is now 18, so if Havel did rustle again, I may
She would know.
Okay.
I would know.
That
No,
that motherly knowledge.
Right.
Knowledge.
How does a dirty 20 sound, DJ?
Sounds
Nice.
great.
Nice.
Renaya?
That's right, I'm helping. That's a dirty 20.
Nice. Look at you guys matching rolls and stuff. Similar thing. More clouds are beginning to roll in. Still nothing to be concerned about, but just a gentle little blanket begins to form. But you guys don't hear anything concerning, and don't see anything approaching that's of concern. Um, every once in a while, Havel does twitch in his sleep, causing Melora to awaken for just a moment before letting him find peace again. About the third time it happens, he jolts really hard, and one of his horns accidentally pricks you in the shoulder. But you manage to.
I probably
lean a
won't go
little
back
further
to
back.
sleep after that one.
Eventually, the four of you can watch the sunrise approach before eventually Havel and Edward awaken. Havel not feeling very well rested. Edward surprisingly well rested.
I have been. I've pulled out the shards of bone that I chipped off of those massive bones we found in the Feywild.
Oh yeah.
And I've just been examining them and seeing the differences between them and human bone, and doing a whole bunch of orcish sciencey stuff.
Yeah, roll a medicine check.
Oh, I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
actually gets your roll.
16. That's not bad.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good. There's significant differences, mostly in the well, actually, no. If I remember correctly, that's of a giant. So no, there's not significant differences aside from the size. It's basically just an enlarged human skeleton that's slightly reinforced. You do notice that these bones are stronger than regular humanoid bones.
Yeah, if anyone is awake to hear it, Tarak does mutter to himself random garbage. He's like, well, if you compare this to a human bone that can withstand nearly 9,000 pounds of force.
Melora would like to kind of brace for Havel to awake to kind of explain why he doesn't have any of his weapons.
Havel, you, for the first time in a while, you awake to your head gently rocking up and down. You can feel the warmth on your cheek. There's a faint smell of cinnamon. You realize that all of your weapons are gone.
You're not in danger.
Where are my daggers?
They're right next to you.
I check for my coin purse.
It's still there. You had a nightmare. I didn't want to get stabbed helping you, but I have nightmares too, so I tried to help.
Thank you, I suppose. You didn't have to do that, though.
I know, but I have them too, and I know how comforting it can be. So, I'm sorry I had to take your daggers. I just know from previous experience that I didn't really want to get stabbed. But if you didn't want me to do anything like that again, just let me know and I won't.
That's not necessarily it. You all have your own things to worry about. Thank you, though. I do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Really quick, though. How did anything happen in the middle of the night? I don't know.
What do you mean?
I was coming in and out. I had this really strange sense of foreboding. Nothing happened while I was asleep.
Not that I can tell. I mean, I have a little prick from your horn.
I'm sorry, I should really...
No, it's fine. It's fine. I can't think of anything else big that happened.
Right, perhaps it is the
Havel,
nightmare.
you go up and you touch the sides of your face and realize that the skin on all of your hands and most of the muscle on your fingers and the edges of your palms has rotted away.
Okay.
You can still move your fingers and stuff like that, but it's this eerie sensation where you don't feel anything moving. You can't feel your hands moving or anything like that, but you can see them moving. Yeah, it's this weird.
And
disassociation with it.
That explains why my hands are numb.
Aye. Perhaps we should get moving to get there faster.
I second that motion.
Alright.
Thank you. Where did you put my weapons?
I just put them right here, and I like move to see like a nice and neat pile of daggers that were carefully removed.
Wonderful.
Like
They're
Jenga.
stacked almost like a
Yeah.
house of cards.
And it's all there. Don't worry about that. I have plenty of my own. So
Okay. Well,
At that, I take out the dagger that I took from Havel,
Oh,
and I just
take my weapons.
I hand it back to him.
Do you have a dagger of your own?
I do not, but I should be all right. Thank you.
Keep it. On the off chance that you get disarmed.
All right. I will keep it.
great. I would like to like take a little bit of time to like just like it doesn't hurt anymore, but the prick, just like make sure that like my shirt doesn't have a hole in it or anything like that.
no,
so
there's not a hole or anything like that you have to worry about. Just a small. It was more just the shock of
Just
the,
like, oof, that's a hole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Sure. All right. Well, I think we should get moving. I didn't want to be negative in any way at all, but I think the sooner we get there, the better.
I am dying here.
Yes. Let's go.
All right.
You all quickly begin packing up camp and begin setting out on your second day of travel. You travel along the Obsidian Road, making your way through, and it stays pretty much the same scenery. You're hugging the mountains while high above, while being slightly above the rolling plains. And you spend most of that second day just traveling along this blank, endless road. As you begin, just probably about, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours before you guys would take rest and take camp, you do notice that the vegetation begins to get a little bit more dense. Just the grass gets a little longer and thicker. The plant life on the mountainside gets a little thicker along things along those lines. You can also begin to feel and sense this breeze coming from the west, carrying a salty smell to it. Yes, Renata?
I totally forgot. As we get going, I would write to her that we are on our way.
Okay, cool. Yeah. She responds with a quick little message, being excited and also warning you about the dangers of traveling by yourself on the road, making sure that you guys stay together in a group, and making sure you have enough food and that it's going to be cold tonight, and so have a nice fire and so on and so forth. But you guys make your way through before eventually it begins to get dark, and you can find another one of these little spots, these little alcoves, not alcoves, but patches on the side of the road, designed for travelers to stay at.
How many days do we have to travel again?
2 more after this.
2 more? This what we just did again?
Yes.
Aye.
Oh, that's so far. If only we had a wagon. I could have bought us a wagon, you know.
Havel, it isn't starting at all on your legs, is it? Is it just contained to the upper body?
I'm not entirely sure. I mean, normally I just attribute the numbness to the walking, but I can check. And I take off my boots.
You take off your boot, and your feet have the same skeletal appearance as your hands.
Oh gosh, that's horrifying.
Yep.
Wonderful.
This actually might not be a bad thing.
You mean?
What do you mean?
Well, okay, so you can still move your hand, right?
More
I
or
mean, you
less.
can't feel
I
anything,
can't
but-
feel anything. I have no sensitivity.
Do you have your regular motion?
Dexterity.
Yes.
I can try. I'm gonna try to roll a coin across my knuckles.
Okay. Roll a sleight of hand check with disadvantage.
There's Hannah's dice again. That was a natural one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Join the
You
club.
go to flip a coin through your knuckles, and it gets over one knuckle before slipping through the much larger gap now than what you're used to, and falling to the ground.
My dexterity is hindered, just slightly.
Okay, all right, but hear me out. You know, technically, what are they? Tarsals, metal tarsals, or is that toes? I can never remember.
Isn't it phalanges?
Phalanges? I don't look.
I don't know.
that just
Digits.
Anatomy
There's a
was
lot
not-
of.
phalanges
Alright.
is just your fingertips and your technically your toes are
But they're
phalanges
still
as well.
connected, right? Even though there's no skin covering them. and
I
it
can
doesn't feel
move.
as though-
I mean, I can move them. There are no tendons
Yeah.
attached, but I can move them.
that's a good thing. I was afraid that it would go past your fingertips and your knuckle would just fall off,
No,
and you would have to deal with little stub fingers.
Better
What?
than this, however, still
I mean,
not.
obviously not optimal, but it's better
Right.
than us having to collect random bones that fall off of Haval as he walks.
Does
And that
it-
means that he can continue walking.
the-
Sure.
does anyone have a spare notebook or book of some kind? A journal?
I
Perhaps?
don't have a spare one. No.
Perhaps a piece of parchment even. I'd take
I
that.
have
one.
a single piece of paper left.
Might I have it?
I have a journal.
Can I have the piece of paper, Tarek? May I have the piece of paper?
If he has a journal,
That is his journal,
they,
though.
they were
no?
given to me by a friend.
Okay, Kathyr, is it's your journal?
Sure.
Though.
I walk over and I rip out a couple pages out of the back.
I appreciate it. And Havel's going to take out some ink from his bag.
Okay.
And just write some stuff. I'll talk to you about it later. I'm just gonna write some stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
you go to write, and what normally is a very elegant, well-practiced handwriting is almost like writing with your non-dominant hand.
I
It's kind
hate
of what
it.
it looks like and feels like.
I hate it. Start off the page by
Yeah.
being like, "Well, I'm losing my hands."
You guys begin setting up camp, taking out your bedrolls, finding some more of those shrubs, taking the shrubs with you that you had before. And before long, you have a small fire going. And it's not quite as cold this night. The breeze kind of, it's warmer tonight, but the breeze is here now. And so it's about the same temperature as it was last night, between those two factors kind of going against each other. But specifically temperature-wise, without the wind chill, it's a little bit warmer tonight. Who is going to take first watch?
I'll take first watch.
That's so will I.
I am going to bed. Edward lays down on his bedroll.
So, Havel, Kathyr. I almost called you Kiamorra for a second. He's gone. Who knows where
On
he went.
forever.
Anyway, both of you go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
19?
11.
Hey, you guys try to relax for just a little bit. You guys haven't really seen anybody on the road. You haven't had to worry about anything really. But Kathyr, you begin looking around and you notice on the road is a splash of crimson. Not very large, but just little, splotches of red every once in a while, kind of in this little kind of wandering line, before eventually they disappear. You also look through, and you can see there are small singed patches of grass with little pools of green liquid floating in them.
Kind of like nudge Havel gently. You see that? There's
Oh.
blood and acid, perhaps?
Maybe. I think maybe a group of people got into a fight.
If I stand up and walk just a little bit, can I see if it can like lead somewhere at all?
What are you following?
The blood.
It's only about 6 feet or so that this little trail, quote unquote, has before it disappears.
How fresh does it look?
Roll a medicine check.
Can I help with that?
Yeah.
Hey, Kathyr.
Yep.
Do you wanna? Can he roll that? Can Kathyr roll? I think his medicine's better than mine.
I mean,
Kathyr was the one that saw it, so I would allow it.
okay, cool. So I have advantage.
My medicine's real trash.
Not great. 11.
Okay. It looks like it's probably less than a week old, but specifically how much time between, you're not 100% sure.
Okay.
But it's not like fresh.
It's not fresh.
Okay.
That's good. And the acid, it's still like that's not fully dry yet though.
Yeah, you can see that it's probably about there's like 3 or 4 of these puddles strewn about, probably within a 20-foot radius. But they're usually about a foot in diameter of singed grass with about 2 or 3 inches of acid left in the center of that circle.
That's concerning.
I'm sure it's nothing. I think whatever caused this is long gone.
Probably. Although we might need to keep an extra eye out while we're traveling.
Yeah, maybe. No, nothing to get too concerned about though.
Hopefully not.
Well, if anything happens, I'm sure we can handle it.
We are all capable people.
Well, some of us.
Some of us, yes.
Some of us. Right. Back to Campton.
Do I know about his helmet? Havel's helmet?
Yeah, you saw him take it from the hag hut. He hasn't really touched it a whole lot or talked about it, but
okay. Yeah, just
so
you guys finish the rest of your watch. Do you know who you're doing for second watch?
I'd assume Melora and Renaya would be up by then.
Sure.
Because they're Elven, so.
Yeah. You guys go to wake up the girls.
I'll do what I can not to get stabbed this time.
I'll wake up Melora.
Kathyr goes to wake up Melora and then looks at her hip, looks at her again, turns to go to Renaya.
Havel's just like, yeah, you have a very bad tendency of getting stabbed.
Yeah.
It's okay. So do I.
I have no defense to that at all, really.
No defense needed. Like I said, so do I.
So you guys wake each other up.
After Melora is up and awake, though, I'm going to say, also, I think it's probably better if you have this, and I'll hand her Ruat.
Okay.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah. And I'll go sit down.
All right.
Havel,
I'd like to. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say really quickly. Havel's gonna go up to Melora and be like, "Can I borrow Ginger for the night?"
Sure. I scoop her out, and I like hold her in my hands, and I say, "Now, no going and wandering off. You stay with Haval or Kathyr, all right?"
Eyes like barely like open as she was asleep, and she's like, she just like lays back down.
I will very gently like maneuver her to be in Havel's hands, and now I know I didn't have to tell you, but you be very careful with her.
Like an egg.
All right. And then I'd like to go sit next to Renaya, whatever she is.
Okay. I'll have both of you guys roll perception checks.
I would like to make a point that Havel isn't sleeping with Ginger like on his chest or anything. Havel has like planted her like on his forehead, propped up against his horns. Kind of like
18.
Very nice. 18?
Mm-hmm.
I know you said 24, but I couldn't hear you say 24.
Four.
Yeah, you both notice. You both can see the splotches of crimson actually on the road, and the 4 or 5 small, now small, patches of burned grass with the acid.
Now that's interesting.
Did they mention that?
did not.
Not.
Nope,
not
we're
to
bad at that.
me.
No, we didn't. Drew thought about it, but Kathyr did not.
Gavit's like, it's not a big deal. It's fine. Ugh.
I would like to
if we
go-
need to, we'll talk about it in the morning.
I
You know.
I
Look
would
at
like
it.
to go look at it as well.
Okay. Yeah, you guys go over and you can see. You kind of follow. It's this, almost like someone had a bad cut, and was bleeding profusely before eventually getting it bound. Kind of leaves this little trail of like six or so feet of drops of blood, and then you can see when you look at the pools of acid, they're about a foot in diameter of charred, burned grass with about 2 or 3 inches of a little puddle of acid left in it.
I don't know what to make of this.
I don't know either. DM,
Mhm.
would I have any idea of just can I at least conclude that it's not like a natural like animal or like anything like that that would occur unless it was like not of this world, so to speak? Do you know what I mean? Like, could I make some sort of check to see like, well, this is definitely not anything from around here?
Sure. Go ahead and roll a nature check.
All right. Not good. 10.
Yeah, you've spent most of your life in the forest. You're not quite sure what creatures naturally inhabit the plains or the mountains. You spend most of your life bouncing through trees, and the animals that also live there are what you're most familiar with. So you're not 100% sure if this is something from the plains of Ocleron or from other places.
I have never seen this before.
This might actually be like pretty much the same thing, but could I check to see if the blood is like humanoid?
Sure.
Is that something I could check?
Yeah, go ahead, roll a medicine check.
Can I help her with that? I have pretty high medicine.
100%, go for it.
19.
Okay. Looks like blood. Looks like red blood. The blood that you see from most humans and other humanoid-ish creatures.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Well, doesn't necessarily look like it was recently, so I didn't know if we should be concerned for our safety right now, but we should definitely keep an eye out for anything else like this in case there's anything on this road that isn't safe.
Agreed.
Just saying, that's exactly what Haval and I said to each other, hence us not
And
mentioning
you can
anything.
say that in the morning when we wake up.
Hey.
Oh no.
So, how are you doing? All right. I couldn't hear you.
I like the flowers.
Oh, thank you. I'm not really sure exactly where they came from, but it is rather nice not to have to pick them every morning to put them in my hair. So,
What?
oh, they are lasting very long. And I go to like tug at one. They're kind of like growing from my hair. And actually, I'm sure that as she can see, as she's looking at it, they have like closed because it's dark.
Yeah.
So they're not like, they are not open because the sun's not out.
Yeah.
Oh, your flowers are sleeping too.
I didn't really know all of the information about it, but I think that this is going to be a regular thing that occurs from now on.
Well, it's
Watch
very
this.
lovely on you. What?
And I take my braid out to like watch and show her how the flowers like stay even though the braid gets taken out.
Yeah. It almost looks like the flowers are just growing off of individual strands of hair. They weren't even braided into her head. They're just attached to her.
That's very cool.
I'm very excited. I mean, I think that I already don't really try on my appearance all that much, but this is just gonna make it like 10 times easier for me because they just like do it. I didn't have to really do much at all.
I smell cinnamon too.
Oh yeah,
Is it like a
with,
new like perfume thing you're trying?
It came with the flowers. Honestly, I went to bed. I had a very bad nightmare, and when I woke up, I had the flowers in my hair and I smelled like cinnamon.
You should have come got me.
And I probably would have, but someone was there when I woke up already.
What do you mean?
Hey, Hannah, just saying, Hannah herself has had conversations with Drew about this subject.
Hey, Drew,
So-
get out. This isn't your scene.
Hey, you're
Get out,
asleep.
Kathyr.
You're asleep, Kathyr. Go to bed.
Well,
Hannah herself
oh my god. Sorry. No, that's not right. No, that sounds bad too. I fell asleep in Kathyr's room. On the floor.
Okay.
So he was just he was there when I woke up. So when I was having the nightmare and he was there, so I didn't really need to go anywhere necessarily afterwards.
What did he do?
Got stabbed.
What did he do? Well, you know, he well, he held me.
Held you? Like,
You know, like how someone would hold you if you were having a hard time and you needed
like how you were holding Haval.
similarly, except in a different way. Except maybe the same.
A different way? What do you mean a different way?
Forget it. I didn't really know.
Okay.
It's probably not a huge thing. When I woke up, I accidentally stabbed him. He I get kind of jumpy, you know. I've lived alone most of my life, so if someone wakes me up, so he kind of
That's
ruined.
good to know.
Yeah, very good to know. So we actually haven't really talked about if it meant what it meant. Should it
If
have
it meant what it meant.
if it meant if it meant something, or if it was just, you know, like
Melora, I think you're trying to say something, but you're skipping around it a whole lot.
I didn't know if I am reading into things that aren't, you know, a big deal, that are just nice, not necessarily extra attached to it.
Well, I can understand the confusion.
Aye. It is rather confusing. I didn't want to assume, obviously, because then that would be very awkward.
And what's your stance?
On which part?
On if there's intentions.
Well, intentions sounds, a little negative, actually. But if there were feelings attached to these things that could just be, just a nice person just doing nice things, obviously. Like that is a thing that could be occurring. If there are feelings attached, then I wouldn't complain about it.
I see.
But like I said, he's very nice, so it could just be, being nice. Could be just that. I mean, like I've said before, when you have to be around someone all day, you may find that it's easier if you're nice to them, so that there isn't a conflict or anything. So, why are you looking at me like that? What?
Looking at you like what?
Well,
I'm listening.
I know you're listening, but it's the eyebrow. I feel like I'm not saying something right.
Melora, you are the last person who should be afraid of their words.
I know. But, words can... Not that I much care a lot of the time. But words can cause trouble when there doesn't need to be trouble. So I could keep them to myself and just wonder about it. But if the words are spoken and it is a certain way, then now it's that. Now there's no question about it, and then you have to kind of deal with that if it's not the one
we
that
don't have to talk about this anymore if you don't want to.
All right.
How was the... How much time left do we have on watch?
I mean, it's probably been about 2 hours, probably.
Okay.
So if you didn't want to talk anymore, though, I could go over there, give you time.
No, I'm happy to talk. I don't want to make you any more uncomfortable than you already are.
I'm not uncomfortable with you. Didn't get that confused. I am usually very prepared for everything that I will encounter in my life. But my mother didn't have the time nor the opportunity to prepare me for this, or for anything about that. I've kind of missed the pivotal point that you may get with your parents, where they tell you about how it works, about this is what this means, this is what this doesn't mean, this is how you know. I missed out on that part, and I will never have the chance to ask her about it again.
Well, I can tell you that it's not really something that has a definitive answer.
Which is probably the hardest part for me. Because if it were able to be answered easily, then you could answer it, and then you could know, and then you could, do what you're supposed to do about it, and know what you're supposed to do about it, or with it, or things of that matter. So I've never I've never had to deal with this sort of thing before, and all other obstacles in my life are things that can be easily overcome, that have clear answers to them, clear calculations that you can take to make sure that the answers are correct, and that you'll make it to the other side unscathed and in one piece. So,
Well, I recommend that you take it like everything else. Be careful.
sure. That's why I haven't really said anything until now. But like I said, I've never, had this sort of situation that I found myself in, and I didn't know what to make of it, and I didn't know, like I said, I mean, he's very kind, and he could just very well just be being kind, just like he is with everyone else. So it's hard to tell if I'm, just looking for something, and that I want to tell myself that this means this or this means that, or whatever. But what I do know is that although I had a hard time adjusting, I quite enjoy having to be within 120 feet of him.
You remind me a lot of me and Laura.
Is that so? Is that a good or a bad thing when you're talking about this?
It's a scary thing.
Have you been hurt before?
Everybody's been hurt before.
Sure. But I mean, in this way.
Yes.
I'm sorry to hear that. We didn't have to talk about it if it's still a sore wound.
I will help you wherever you need help.
All right.
I'm very excited to see my mentor.
I'm sure you are. Do you want to tell me about her?
Maybe when the others are awake.
All right. I'm sorry if I said something that made you upset or uncomfortable or anything like that.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It kind of seems like you aren't very pleased to hear about me sleeping in Kathyr's room.
I just want to make sure that you don't get hurt.
Well, that's very kind of you.
I'm not saying I don't like Kathyr or think that he's going to like try and hurt you or anything. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
I'm just
Careful.
careful. Yes.
I can respect that. And I am not saying by any means that tomorrow I'm going to wake up and do something about how I'm feeling. No. Not for a long while, I didn't see. Unless something happens. Or I have another nightmare and he's there again. I don't know.
Well, also know that you can come to me too.
Of course. And if you ever have a problem, I'd like you to know that you can come to me as well. If you want to, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very proud of you and how you handled that hag. I know I haven't really gotten the chance to speak to you about it, but I had a front row seat to that show, and
Yeah.
I know how much that must mean for you and how much she's hurt you. So
Thank you.
of course. Well, was anyone else going to take watch tonight?
If we need a third, I would have volunteered.
Alright.
I will go wake up Tarak.
Alright. Good night, Renaya.
Good night. Same thing. Gently nudging the arm. Little bit of a further distance, though.
Even better this time. So it's a fist's barely even clenched. Hey. Anything crazy happen?
There's like a weird blood acid thing
Blood?
over there. We'll look at it more in the morning. It doesn't seem to be a concern. Just keep your eyes out for anything.
Just some blood on the trail.
It sounds way worse,
No,
but we
I'm-
checked it out.
Great.
Okay.
Well, I'll be here.
Oh,
Keeping
okay.
watch.
Good night.
Do.
Jack, go ahead and roll a perception check.
Hey, that's a 17.
Okay. Yeah, you managed to find the same thing that Catherine Havel found and Melora and Renaya.
I already know the answer, but I don't happen to have like vials or anything on me, do I?
Odd or even?
Oh god. Odd.
You have one vial on you.
Oh yes. I want to put some acid in it.
Do it. How are you gonna get the acid in there?
I'll take a bit of damage for this. I'll just stick my hand in. I'll just whoop.
You take 4 points of poison damage.
That's not. Oh, I'm immune to poison.
Oh, there you go.
Woo!
Yeah, great.
Woo-hoo!
You're like,
I'm a winner.
this is gonna hurt. Nope. And then just move on with your life.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually do anything at all.
No. Anyone else would just like fry their skin alive, but him, his skin barely like sticks up to his face anyway. So
Havel could pick it up.
That's very accurate.
Ooh.
Sorry,
Ooh.
keep going.
That's rough, buddy.
You know, that hurt. If I could feel
Bro, you were the one that
anything right
touched
now,
the skeleton, bro.
that would hurt.
Okay, we
He
can
didn't
keep
touch
going.
it. The skeleton touched him.
And then he broke a chair. Sorry, keep going.
anything
Man.
you're gonna do tonight, Trek?
Oh, nope.
Cool.
Nothing crazy.
You guys all awake in the morning to a relatively overcast day. The clouds aren't looming or dark or anything like that, but there are not a whole lot of there's not a lot of open sky by any means. The dew lightly covers the thick vegetation that surrounds you.
All right, everyone, time to get up. I'm literally dying here.
Let's go.
Edward goes from his bedroll and kind of turns.
Edward,
the
I
other
will
way.
push you into the dew. Into the morning dew. Do you want that? Do you want a wet, damp
Havel,
awakening?
maybe like 5 minutes.
I
Edward,
have...
If you don't get up, I'll carry you.
Oh gosh.
Edward,
Well,
5 minutes...
5 minutes won't kill Havel.
You
I go over
don't
and
know
pick him up.
that.
He's been wearing gloves since his hands went decrepit, and it's nice because now the rot has spread about halfway down his forearm.
Oh,
I
it's
wear-
nice.
I wear a jacket.
That's nice.
Yeah, you can't tell.
You can't
You
tell.
can feel it, but nobody else can see it.
Renaya is gonna go up to Havel.
You go up to Havel, and there's a nice, good smell of decay to him.
Hello, Renaya. Well,
How's it feeling?
well, Rennie, let me put it like this. I can't.
Wait, Havel?
At all.
Well,
Huh?
where are your earrings?
Well, oh. That's a funny story. Melora yelled at me. And she made me make a promise. And I had nothing else to present of meaning because I have nothing of value on my person except for those pieces of jewelry. So I presented her with one as a token of said promise. Now that being said, the promise does extend to all of you. I kind of want it back, if I'm going to be entirely honest. I don't like the idea that she has it. I do have the other one though. It's on the necklace right now. But yeah, I don't know. Do you want the other one? Honestly, at this point, they're too much trouble than they're worth.
No, I just knew they were really important to you. And...
They are very important to me, which is why I'm very anxious about whether or not she will lose it.
I'm currently attempting to pick up Edward.
Oh
And we're just kind
god.
of like squirming around and fighting you all.
I'm full on worming, like in my bedroll away from track, going, no, this is
Hey,
not happening.
DM.
This is not happening.
DM, for Grant's sake, did he ever roll his hit die?
Grant, did you ever roll your hit die?
Because you like leveled up and stuff, right?
Um,
I actually
Yeah.
don't think you
All-
told
My
me
hit
that you
dice is a
leveled up.
D8,
No, he did.
and
Hey,
I know
I
that.
apologize, Grant, but you leveled up last
Hooray!
night.
Last
Everyone should be
night.
level 3 now.
Pog.
But Tarak will look over at Havel and be like, have you ever considered that you don't need to like stab yourself or like forgive someone? Like you could just say, I promise.
At this point,
Like-
he scoops up Edward.
Words mean nothing. Most times.
Did Tarak actually scoop up Edward?
Tarak, did you actually scoop up Edward?
I mean, unless he gets up. If you stand up, then I'm not going to pick you up.
I'll say he squirms out of his bedroll and stands up and steps back and points at Tarak and say, "You are never picking me up again. Don't you dare try it."
We're kind of on a deadline, so
All right, let's get a move
I
on.
know.
Let's go.
Really quickly, while that was going on, Havel is going to turn to Renaya and be like, because I'm not entirely sure if I'll be able to say this in a couple of days if this doesn't work out. Thank you. For everything. Really.
Very welcome for saving you about 2 days from now. So let's go.
I should mention it doesn't seem like acid, it seems more like poison. The pools on the ground. So
Wait, what?
Right,
Oh yeah,
wait.
did you guys
Poison
that?
pools
That
on the
brings up-
ground.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Let's continue onward, shall we?
No, I would be very interested to know why you didn't share that information with the people taking watch after you.
Oh, wait.
Just in case.
Hey, sorry, Tarak, it is acid damage.
Oh, never mind. It's
I-
totally acid.
I'm sorry, I lied.
It's super. It's like
Totally
crazy
acid.
acid.
Sorry.
Did
You
I
take-
mean,
did anything
take
did anything
one HP of damage.
did anything bother you?
Luckily not, but what if it had? What if we had no idea we were supposed to be looking out for something, we got attacked by
Wait, you
something?
did know it was there?
I mean,
I'm
we're-
confused.
I mean, I
thought
did.
It showed up.
I did. I'm not so sure about Kathyr, but I did.
You didn't
Well,
tell
Kathyr?
us?
And
You didn't think that was information that we should know, being as we had then watched after you, and if it was still around, whatever it was that did this, or whoever it was, we could have been in danger.
Well, I'm very
I mean-
astute, and I noticed that it was it was probably over a week old. It wasn't fresh.
Alright.
He's also kind of losing body parts, so he is a little
Well, I'm not really
distracted.
talking about him right now,
Oh.
actually.
Hey, if you guys are going to talk, can I lay down for a bit?
No, we gotta keep. We're walking.
This conversation can happen further on the road, Edward.
Literally, 5 minutes wouldn't kill anyone.
5
just
minutes
saying.
will kill you if you let
I'm
her...
Edward.
I'm not going back to
If
bed.
you just
I'm
stop
just
being such a
saying.
baby about it, and you let Tarak hold you because you know you just don't want to be walking.
We
you
are
can just
off to a great start, and
Okay,
Renaya is
how
going
much
to
would you
skip
enjoy a
ahead.
giant orc scooping you
Haval-
up off the ground when
Haval-
you're trying to
You
sleep?
didn't want to walk. You didn't want to be held. Make up your mind. I mean, honestly.
I want to
Have
sleep.
have
At
Haval
this point,
and
there's a little bit of a
Same.
slide of the rocks down the mountainside that you guys can hear. You turn and see a little shift in the rock side that is causing this little tumble of dirt and gravel.
All right, everybody move.
I'm sure it's nothing.
What was that?
Sure, it's nothing. Everything shifts all the time. Edward, if you're so tired, here and then. Yes, when I'm sorry. What?
No, you're good. Keep going. I'm walking ahead.
I'm
I'm
going to be
going-
walking with Renaya on the side facing the like tumbling rock.
I'm
Have-
going to walk as well.
Havel and Infernal casts the freaking floating discs. And I go, lay on that, you whiny baby.
I don't
There's
know if I
another
trust you.
Shift of rubble down the mountainside.
Edward, whether or not you trust him, you need to start moving unless
Okay.
you want to be splattered by rocks.
I don't want to be on your magic disc. I don't know where you're gonna put that thing. I will.
It's going to
walk.
follow
I'm
us
fine.
within a space of 20 feet.
I'm fine.
I'm going to hurt you.
Picks
Hear
up
a
his stuff.
gentle rumbling.
Go,
Everybody-
go, everyone,
We
go.
need to start moving.
Go, fine,
I'm going
go.
to start-
I'm moving. And he
Did
starts
anyone
walking.
mention that are these still volcanoes?
Oh
You mean-
no.
Go,
You-
go, go.
You guys begin hustling, making your way. Who is in the back of the group?
I'll do it.
Edward
Edward's at the back of the group.
and Havel?
Yeah.
Question mark.
Okay. You guys begin moving along, frustrated and tired, and begin trying to make cover as much ground as you can. Edward, you notice it first, followed quickly by Havel. Behind you, there is the biggest shift of gravel yet. This large, tumbling avalanche of rock and debris and dirt. And you look up for where it kind of stemmed from, and you can see around the corner of one of these cliff sides. The first thing you notice are two tips before you realize that they're horns that come up and around the side of this draconic head that shifts around with horns
What?
coming out the backside,
Right.
and it
perfect.
shifts over and
What?
Fantastic.
Is there any place for us to take
guys?
cover?
Guys, there's a thing. There's a really big thing up there. The
have a roll a perception check or an investigation check, whichever is better.
Oh no.
Investigation.
Go ahead and roll it.
Oh man. Yeah, that hurts. Okay, yeah, that's a 1. That's a nat 1.
Ooh, that one counter. Havel, you look back and see this frightening presence of what you immediately recognize to be a black dragon. You
great.
watch as it steps past and down before looking over at you and making eye contact with you. And it almost grins.
Oh God.
As it steps down, and
Alright.
it's not as large as you expected it to be. It moves down, and you
accept
realize
death.
it's about the size of maybe 3 large horses. And it slides down the mountainside before doing one flap of its wings and goes barreling towards you guys. And
We're
that's
dead.
where we're gonna end
no.
this session.
No.
Guys, we're not gonna know what happens until next year.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Why?
What, guys,
At least we're starting off the year with a bang.
guys,
Fighting
he
a
said,
dragon?
guys, he said cliffhanger earlier today. He said,
yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
saw
leave
it.
him on a
I saw it.
cliffhanger.
Literally.
Yeah,
Our
I saw
party-
it.
Cliff
Our party.
hanger.
Our party said level 3, and DJ said dragon.
DJ really
some-
did just say dragon.
Some dragons are kind of level 3-ish.
Hey,
No.
Okay, look.
DJ,
No,
I
no, no,
rolled
like
a-
wormlings, maybe a
Yeah.
young dragon if you're lucky.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
about black dragons. Black dragons are normally a little higher up there, if I
Hey,
remember correctly.
hey guys.
DJ.
I mean, hey, just because it's a black dragon does not mean it couldn't be a wormling or a young dragon.
Hey,
Exactly.
Hey, DJ.
Yeah.
I rolled a 1 for my hit dice. I get to re-roll that, right?
Yes, you do.
Yay. I rolled a 1 again.
Yeah, if you guys
I rolled
are
a
level
2.
3,
I'm
nice,
guessing-
you get to keep that.
Yes.
hey, hey,
Edward still baby.
guys. Just a quick reminder: next week isn't going to be your regularly scheduled paper dungeon, but in fact going to be a Christmassy one shot or holiday one shot run by yours truly, me.
Come check it out. It'll
Come
be super
check
exciting.
out the stream. I would gladly enjoy spreading holiday cheer.
Do we get a taste of the theme, or do you want to wait?
We literally know nothing about this so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all literally don't know anything about this. Think,
Colorful. It'll be colorful.
yeah, colorful, happy-ish.
Ish.
This is a very
Depends.
new experience.
Um,
All right.
I like to think it's Krampus, but if Krampus was lighthearted and jovial.
Okay, the movie
So-
Krampus was lighthearted and jovial. Let's be clear here.
So basically, Santa Claus, the opposite of Krampus.
But he still murders children.
The one that eats
Gotcha.
children that are bad, yes.
But he,
I'm
he
ec-
has
I'm
a good
ecstatic.
So he's
time with-
happy that he does it.
But,
Gotcha.
like,
Well, that'll be a
like,
blast.
wow, well, children are low in cholesterol, so at least I'm looking out for my own health.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Awesome.
Anyways,
Yeah, definitely check that out. Also,
On
go check
that
out our
note.
merch store.
We don't have time to.
And we'll be back next year, guys.
Share us with your friends.
Please.
Yeah, dude,
Give
that's
us-
so
Give us a
helpful.
follow. Share us with your friends. It's a big help.
Yes.
Really is.
and check out our
Also,
merch.
Appreciate
about the fact
every
that
one of
I-
you. Check
I
out our
murdered
merch.
them with dragons.
It's gonna be
Ah.
Give
great.
Ginger a pat.
I love that.
But yeah, give Ginger a pat.
Give Ginger a pat. Check out our merch. Share with your friends.
And DJ, I believe this is the time for you to say our end statement.
Don't mess
Good
it up.
luck and Godspeed, Dungeoneers. We'll see you
got it
next
right.
time.
No, he didn't. He didn't. He was close,
Did.
but he.
Good luck and
he-
Close
Godspeed,
enough, though.
right?
Good luck and
Look,
Godspeed.
he got
Good
the
luck
important
You know,
bit.
Godspeed.
he
Alright,
got
he
the
got the
important
important
bit. He got the
bit.
important
See you
bit.
next
It's fine.
time, Dungeoneers. That's
That's
the
what I
start.
Bye.
All right, we did it.
Bye.
See you guys.